Hello. Hi. Hi. I don't know how this is going to be. I've never live streamed to YouTube on my phone before, but I'm about to shoot Kill Count Scream. Figured a lot of you guys have asked to see this process. It's not going to be good, but I'll show it to you guys. Whoa, that's a lot of people. Okay. Cool. Thanks, guys. Also, thanks a lot for checking out the videos. They've been doing great lately. Today's video was awesome. It's a lot of people in here. All right, that's a lot of do it sideways. Should I do it sideways? Oh man. Sorry again. Whew, if you guys are just showing up, I've never live streamed from my phone. So it looks like I can't change it. I mean, I could hold it like this. Oh, okay. I guess that does it. Great. Let's do this then. Okay. So like I said, I'm going to be why won't it let me rotate it? It's telling me that it's not cool. Jesus, guys. Okay, that's a lot. I can't do any shout outs. Shit's moving way too fast and it's on my phone. So literally I can't do anything. But here, let me show you the process here. I got camera, light, this is a teleprompter. And this teleprompter works with a, kind of hard to do with one hand. It's got a tablet up in here. So hold on, I'm gonna set down the phone for a second. There's my ceiling. You can look at my ceiling. Okay. All right, so the teleprompter works with this is the tablet up here. And then it reflects, so I'll start it right there. So there's the words, and then it reflects right here. And this is where I stand. There's a mirror for me to check my hair. Dude, one guy has been going through all of my videos and commenting on my hair. He's very angry about it, and I don't know why he's so upset about it, but I'm glad that he's engaging with my videos, right? So yeah, so I use a teleprompter that helps me get through these quickly. This background is just some decorative curtains. I have a backlight on them just to give it more depth right there, right? Cool. Yeah, and then I got my shirts for the other episodes I'm going to shoot. Over here in my messy apartment is the green screen for when I walk in and do the numbers. So that's like the last thing I do. And then yeah, here's my set deck, and as you can see, new addition, Scream. There's Ghostface and his knife up there. So that's cool. Oh, here, a closer look in case you never noticed. This is the picture from the end of The Shining, which my girlfriend bought for me, and I think it's amazing. Here's Torch from Puppet Master 2 and the rest of them. Here, is this better? Because when I do it, the phone yells at me. And I don't know if that's fine with you guys, so here, okay? And then here's a little Leatherface plushie guy. Got a Critter, even though I don't really like those movies. This awesome resource for the Friday the 13th series. Dead of Winter, awesome board game. There's good old buddy Jason. Great mask, 13X Studios. Check him out. This was only 30 bucks, and it's amazing. Here's Gizmo. That's his name, right? I'm not too into gremlins. The alien things that are actually salt and pepper shakers. There's the three-eyed crow from Game of Thrones. He's there. And there's Jason. And then the rest of this is out of camera, so I got a bunch of dire wolves and other shit. Okay, I have to shoot three things. Or no, four. I have to shoot 4 episodes right now, so oh my god, that's a lot of people watching. Holy shit. Okay, guys, you're gonna see how many times I mess up and have to redo my lines. Because I'm just gonna set the phone down and let you guys watch. Again, oh man, there's so many fucking messages I want to read. Oh god, I wish I could. I'm sorry, guys. Happy birthday tomorrow, Aiden Gossell. You're the one person I'm gonna shout out. Because it's your birthday tomorrow. So cool. Let's see what happens. Is this a decent angle? It's not. No, it's not at all. Okay. What about like here? What's up, dudes? Oh man, the stream is crazy. Is this bad? Is it supposed to be this or this? I can't Okay, turn your phone horizontal. Oh, I can't believe I'm having such a hard time with this. I think I have to do that setting before I start. Because it asked me in the beginning what I wanted to do. And I made my choice. And I guess I'm fucking stuck with it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna do this. All right, this is what we're doing. And like I said, I wish that I could fucking like hang out and interact with you guys because I love doing that. Are there seriously number can't be right? There's not that many people watching this. Let me plug in the phone so it doesn't die. Oh, hey, Bluebrook. What's up? Yes, I have a girlfriend that I've been with for nearly 5 years. Our anniversary's coming up. It's pretty awesome. And she's great. She got me a piece of the dock from the original Friday the 13th for my last birthday gift. It's framed in my bathroom. Literally a piece of the dock that was like in the movie from the camp. Okay, so I'm going to be standing here. All right, guys, again, you're going to see behind the scenes and how hard this is. Don't hate me after it, okay? Cool. So, oh yeah, I got to mic myself up. My girlfriend Chelsea also helps in that she frames me, gets me in focus for the camera. And then she goes off and hides in the room while I do the rest. Alright, this is a test. Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. Cool. Levels are good. Let me turn this camera on. Get this teleprompter rolling. In case you came here late, I'll do another tour of the set at the end, I guess, just in case you weren't here in the beginning, just to show you, in case you're interested, the shit that goes on behind the Kill Count. And guys, I just gotta thank you again for watching and being so awesome. It's been amazing having so many people watch my videos, and Friday's the best day of my week. Every Friday I'm like, fuck yeah. Best part of my week is uploading that video and publishing it, even when I accidentally publish it at 12:30 at night like I did last night. But tell your friends about the channel, spread it around, post it to Reddit. That'd be cool. But let's fucking get me up to those numbers that everyone's saying I should be at, which would be cool because then I can make more videos. All right, guys, we're just gonna fucking do it. Rolling on sound, rolling on video. This is Kill Count Scream, take 1. Clap for that. Fun last looks on here. Ooh, what's this? That's no good. A little dangly, be gone. All right, cool. Here we go. Oh, that's super fast. Fucking teleprompter. You need to chill out. Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at the seminal horror film Scream, released in 1996 by Freddy Krueger creator Wes Craven, who also directed the 3 Scream sequels before passing away in 2015. It's hard to overstate the impact Scream had on the horror genre. It reignited slasher flicks. Fuck. This is moving really fast. It's hard to overstate the impact Scream had on the horror genre. It reignited. You'll find out I can't really talk. Talking's a very difficult thing for me, but I try. I'm just going to start it from the top. Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at the seminal horror film Scream, released in 1996 by Freddy Krueger creator Wes Craven, who also directed the 3 Scream sequels before passing away in 2015. It's hard to overstate the impact Scream had on the horror genre. It reignited slasher flicks, spawning a whole host of late 90s imitators, and set the tone for the genre. Oh shit, Chelsea said I should powder my face before I start because I'm probably really shiny. So I'm actually going to cut these and go powder my face real fast. I don't want people to fucking comment on that shine. And then I'll be right back, so just give me 1 second. Alright? All right, 1 second. Cut camera. Yeah. Here, where's some powder? What? Go to my channel on your phone and see if that's right. What? Thanks. All right, rolling on video, rolling on sound. This is Scream, take 2. All right, sorry about that. Don't wanna be shiny. Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at the seminal horror film Scream, released in 1996 by Freddy Krueger creator Wes Craven, who also directed the 3 Scream sequels before passing away in 2015. It's hard to overstate the impact Scream had on the horror genre. It reignited slasher flicks, spawning a whole host of late 90s imitators, and set the tone for the genre for the better part of a decade. After Scream, horror would take on a certain feel. It'd be funny, hip, and most importantly, self-aware. With that line and the countless references that followed, Scream told its audience that the characters they were watching were just like them. They knew about Jason and Freddy and Chucky. They knew the so-called rules of the genre. Then Scream told them that knowledge wouldn't save these characters. They were going to die anyway. And how many were going to die? Let's find out and get to the kills. The movie begins with a phone ringing, and when Casey Becker answers it, she's greeted with the sexy voice of an inquisitive stranger. Thinking it's a wrong number, she hangs up only to have him call back, and this happens a few times until they're chatting like old college buddies about their favorite scary movies. Eventually, Casey gets creeped out, and the stranger goes from sexy to scary. He tells her he's outside her house and has her boyfriend Steve tied up on the patio. Then, since Casey wants to kill... Here's a joke that I wrote with question marks around it because I'm not sure if it's good. Then, since he wants Casey to kill it at Bar Horror Trivia Night, he starts drilling her on questions about the genre. Then he asks her horror movie trivia with life or death stakes. And since the kill count wasn't around to give Casey a proper education, she wrongly answers. And as punishment, she turns the patio lights back on to see that Steve's been gutted, his intestines dangling in the breeze as he dies. I feel like people often forget about this kill, and it's a pretty solid one to start the movie with. With a chair through the window and a flaming tray of popcorn, shit's totally hit the fan now, and after a well-crafted cat and mouse sequence, Casey makes a run for safety when she sees her parents on their way home. She doesn't quite make it, though, with Ghostface catching up to her and stabbing her in the chest and choking her on the ground. Casey still fights back, but unable to call out... Alright, teleprompter got away from me. With Ghostface catching up to her and stabbing her in the back and choking her on the ground. Casey still fights back, but unable to call out to her parents for help, Ghostface knocks her down and finishes the job. Her parents overhear her dying breaths on the phone as Ghostface drags her away, and they ultimately find her body hung up on a tree. Her parents overhear her dying breaths on the phone as Ghostface drags her away, and they ultimately find her body strung up on a tree, her insides dangling down just like Steve's. Audiences were shocked that Drew Barrymore was killed right off the bat, and that's just one part of what makes this entire opening sequence an instant classic. Hard to beat this kind of kickoff. Next, we meet Sydney Prescott, who's into MS-DOS and her super fucking oily boyfriend, Billy Loomis. Seriously, dude, wash that hair. They're having some intimacy. So, in case you're wondering, I've already done an edit of the video with a audio recording of the script that I did. I put the movie clips over it, and so I know when I'm not on camera. That's why I'm like, it's okay if I'm like not looking into the camera, if I'm making weird motions, or if I'm just if I repeat a line back, I know that I can edit it because I won't be on camera. In the script, I put brackets whenever I'm going to be on camera, so I know, oh, I have to like act and I have to get this line in one take because it can't be cut up and hidden by the movie footage. Just a little insider information with you. Damn, this is crazy. Aiden Gosil, I already gave you a birthday shout out. You're the one person I read again. Don't be greedy. Okay, I'm not putting on the Jason mask. Great. Next, we meet Sydney Prescott, who's into MS-DOS and her super fucking oily boyfriend, Billy Loomis. Seriously, dude, wash that hair. They're having some intimacy problems because Billy wants to get it in, but Sydney isn't feeling it. Probably has something to do with the fact that her mom, Maureen Prescott, was raped and murdered 1 year before this. Yeah, hey Billy, maybe some things are more important than getting a nut off. I feel like that line is on camera, but I didn't mark it, so just to be safe. I'll just do that section again. They're having some intimacy problems because Billy wants to get it in, but Sydney isn't feeling it. Probably has something to do with the fact that her mom, Maureen Prescott, was raped and murdered 1 year before this. So yeah, Billy, maybe some things are more important than getting a nut off. Everything's crazy at school the next day, with local reporter Gail Weathers reporting in her finest dirty highlighter colored dress. Sid's best friend Tatum catches her up about the murders, and Tatum's brother Deputy Dewey helps interview Sydney in the principal's office. Principal Himbry's all like, "Hey, let me touch your chin all weird." But other than that, the cops are sympathetic to Sydney since, you know, that awful fucking thing that happened to her mom. After school, Sid and her entourage hang out by the town's tribute to the Friends Fountain. In addition to Billy and Tatum, there's Tatum's boyfriend Stu, played by Matthew Lillard, who gives it 110%. And Randy Meeks, the geeky guy who's obsessed with horror movies. They treat the murders with about as much respect as high schoolers treat most things. If you've never been to an editing live stream, you can come next time I do one, and you'll see where I chop up all these lines and put them together. Sydney goes home and takes a little couch nap until she's awoken by a phone call with our sexy boy stranger. Then the movie just fucking goes for it and has him attack her in her own home. He almost gets her too, but she fights back because, as we'll find out throughout the series, Sydney Prescott don't take no shit. She does run up the stairs, however, despite having just given a long-winded criticism of that trope in horror movies. See how self-aware this movie is? Meta! So that's an on-camera thing. I'm going to do a few different performances of it. See how self-aware this movie is? Meta! See how self-aware this movie is? Meta. I don't like that one. See how self-aware this movie is? Meta. Maybe that one. All right, let's move on. She locks him out of her room and hits up 911 on her computer, which I guarantee not a single damn person did in 1996, before Ghostface suddenly disappears. He does that a lot. Billy shows up at her window with some excellent suspicious timing and then drops a cell phone. Since this was before we ever had a term like smartphone addiction, Sydney is frightened and confused by Billy's technology, and he gets arrested under suspicion of being a being a murderer. Let's see. Since this was before we ever had a term like smartphone addiction, Sydney is frightened Sydney is frightened and confused by Billy's technology, and he gets arrested under suspicion of being a murderer. Gail Weathers shows up a bit too late for any action, and we find out she is not a very nice lady. The sheriff interrogates Billy and his werewolf-looking dad, and the whole thing becomes a media circus, causing a confrontation between Gal and Sydney, during which Sid brings up the book Gal's been writing about her mom's murder. Yes. Again, sorry I can't interact with you guys. Sydney goes home with Tatum for safety, but gets another call from Ghostface, leading her to conclude that Billy is in fact an innocent, sweet little boy. Sid and Tatum go to school with leading her to conclude that Billy is in fact an innocent, sweet little boy. The next day, Sid and Tatum go to school, with Tatum wearing an outfit that just, like, is that allowed in a high school? Like, is that allowed in a high school? Sid talks to Gal again, this time without punching her in the face, and in a series of uncomfortably close shots, Gal tells Sydney that Cotton Weary, the guy currently in jail for Gal tells Sydney that Cotton Weary, the guy currently in jail for Maureen Prescott's murder, is an innocent man. Sid's left uncertain, but Gal vows to exonerate Cotton. Maybe Gal isn't so bad after all. Never mind. Those are on camera, so I'll do them again just in case. Sid's left uncertain, but Gal vows to exonerate Cotton. Maybe Gal isn't so bad after all. Never mind. Okay. Sid has a pretty rough go of it. Oh man, I might not have been on my mark for those, so I'm going to do them one more time. Maybe Gal isn't so bad after all. Never mind. Okay, I'll pick one of those in post. Sid has a pretty rough go of it at school, with people running through the halls wearing Ghostface costumes, Billy telling her to just get over her mom's death, some bitchy cheerleader talking shit about her in the bathroom, and then finally getting attacked by Ghostface again because this movie never lets Sydney be safe for even a minute, which I actually really appreciate. Principal Himbry doesn't take too kindly to all these shenanigans, so he takes the praise. My mouth gets dry so fast. Principal Himbry doesn't take too kindly to all these shenanigans, so he takes the pranksters from earlier and is all like, "Hey, you're expelled." He plays around with the Ghostface mask and accidentally yells at the janitor, who's a way too on-the-nose reference. And then Ghostface shows up and stabs him a bunch of times in the gut. Henry Winkler does his best, "Hey, I'm dying" face, and Ghostface finishes the job in the reflection of his eye. As a kid, it was pretty traumatizing seeing the Fonz get killed like that. But as an adult, it's kind of funny watching Barry Zuckerkorn play. Oh man, I'm so proud of this joke for any Arrested Development fans. But as an adult, it's kind of funny watching Barry Zuckerkorn play dead. He's very good. With school out and a curfew in effect, Stu plans to have a party because the best thing to do with a serial killer in town is to get a bunch of high schoolers drunk. He chats with Randy at the video store, telling him that he suspects Sydney's dad is behind all the kills, while Randy freaks out about how the killer could be anyone. Okay, dude, not so loud, maybe? Okay, dude, not so loud, alright? Randy's money is on Billy, though, who grabs him by the shirt. I just added this stuff like a minute ago, so. Randy's money is on Billy, though, who pops up and grabs him by the shirt. He and Stu get all up in Randy's grill, touching his face and being weird and acting exactly like you'd expect a serial killer to act. Night comes and everyone heads to Stu's party at his giant fucking farm mansion. It's so bumpin' that even Gal and Dewey are there, making eyes at each other so effectively that Courtney Cox and David Arquette ended up married in real life after meeting on this film. It's so bumpin' that even Gal and Dewey are there, making eyes at each other so effectively that Courtney Cox and David Arquette ended up married in real life after meeting on this film. In movie, it turns out she's using him, though, to... Okay, that's on camera, so I want to make sure that's good. Making eyes at each other so effectively that Courtney Cox and David Arquette actually ended up getting married in... So effectively that Courtney Cox and David Arquette ended up married in real life after meeting on this film. In movie, it turns out she's using him, though, to get inside the party and plant a camera in the living room. Yeah, Gal, being... A lot of these are last-minute jokes I added, so I'm not as familiar with them. Yeah, Gal, be in possession of hidden camera footage at a drunken high school party. See how that works out for you. One more time, that's on camera. Yeah, Gal, maybe it's not the best idea to be in possession of hidden camera footage at a drunken high school party. I might like that one. All right. Stu, who's wearing this pimp-looking party hosting robe, tells Tatum to go get him a beer. On her way back inside, the door is locked, and when she goes to use the garage door, Ghostface shows up. She treats his presence pretty casually, until he slices her arm with his knife. Then we get to see Ghostface do his hilarious pratfalls. First when she hits him with the fridge door, and then while she's throwing beer bottles at him. I suspect that this alone inspired Scary Movie. Look at... Okay. It messed up. I fixed it. Sorry, guys. I fixed it. I was not connected to the Wi-Fi, and now I am, so it's all good now. All right? Cool. Okay. Back to it. Filming is an intense process because it takes a while to like set up everything, and it kind of takes over my apartment while I do it. So for that reason, I have to make sure that I film a bunch in a row. Also, so I don't have to fucking do it every week. So it gets, by the fourth video, I'm pretty tired. But yeah, my hair's okay. I have very high ceilings. I have a loft. It's pretty great. Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah, I should have fucked with you guys and came back with like a throat slit. All right. Still rolling there. Still rolling on camera, so I'm going to keep going. Is lifted all the way up to the ceiling and crushed to death. This may be the single most memorable kill from this movie, and it's certainly the most creative one, unlikely as it may be. Ghostface caps off the scene with a subtle moment of humor as he sneaks back into the party. As the party dies down and a bunch of people leave, Billy shows up, much to the... So, I always write much to the dismay in my scripts, and I don't know why, because I can't fucking say it. As the party dies down and a bunch of people leave, Billy shows up, much to the... Fuck, I can't say this. Much to the dismay of Randy, who's crushing hard on Sydney. They talk about their feelings and other boring bullshit before Sydney decides that she's ready to have sex. Meanwhile, Randy, Stu, and a bunch of no-names watch Halloween on VHS, and Randy explains the rules of staying alive in a horror movie. They're interrupted by the news that Principal Himbry is dead, so everybody except Randy runs off, almost hitting Dale and Gooey. Explains the rules of staying alive in a horror movie. They're interrupted by the news that Principal Himbry is dead, so everyone except Randy runs off, almost hitting Gal and Dewey in the process, who jump into a ditch and use the opportunity to finally just make out already. Jeez. They also find Sydney's dad's car, and since he's been kind of a suspect this whole time, they hold hands and run back to Stu's house. Sydney and Billy are cleaning themselves off after sex when Ghostface shows up and stabs Billy in the chest a bunch of times. Sid escapes through the upper story window, where Ghostface knocks her down onto a boat in the driveway. She finds Tatum's body stuck in the garage and runs off to find help. Randy's still vegging on the couch watching Halloween, and Ghostface comes up behind him, giving Jamie Kennedy the opportunity to be super extra meta. Meanwhile, Randy's still vegging out on the couch watching Halloween, Ghostface comes up behind him. When Ghostface comes up behind him, he gives Jamie Kennedy, Jemity Crickets. Ghostface comes up behind him, giving Jamie Kennedy the opportunity to be super extra meta. Before Ghostface kills Randy, he gets distracted by Sidney screaming for help. The only person around is Kenny, Gail's cameraman, but before he can be of any use, Ghostface slits his throat. Sorry, Kenny, you didn't deserve the abuse you got from Gail, and you never lived long enough to do that sweet Silent Bob cosplay you were always talking about. Sidney escapes Ghostface through this fun-looking van tunnel, and now everyone's just scattered to the wind. Sid's running around, Dewey's back at the house, and Gail finds Kenny's blood on her van. When she goes to call for help, she gets surprised by Randy, who she beats down with the phone. Then she tries to drive off, but she gets distracted by Kenny's blood on the windshield and his body on the roof of the van, as well as Sidney running out in the middle of the street, which causes Gail to veer off and crash into a ditch. No Dewey to make out with this time, Gail. Sidney comes back to the house to find Dewey stumble out the front door with a knife in his back. Sucks, Deuster. Ghostface follows and attacks her, trapping her in a police car where she tries to call for help. When Ghostface attacks Sidney again, she fights back, escapes, and he disappears, which is a sentence I've said like 5 times already this kill count. When Ghostface attacks Sidney again, she fights back, escapes, and he disappears, which is a sentence I've said like 5 times already this kill count. Sidney grabs Dewey's gun and isn't sure who to trust, Randy or Stu, before making an equal opportunity decision. She locks them both out of the house, and then she sees that Billy is still alive. Cool, just don't injure yourself any further, Billy. Okay, yeah, alright, you good? Billy lets Randy in the house, and then here comes the twist. He shoots him! Bam! Jamie Kennedy down. What's up with that, Billy? Was that a reference? Okay, we understand you guys know horror movies. You're being a little extra. Do that last line. Well, I'll do them all again. What's up with that, Billy? Was that a reference? Okay, we understand you guys know about horror movies. You're being a little extra. Billy reveals his blood is corn syrup, and Stu shows up and shows off the voice changer they've been using to make their voices all sexy, and then they spend a good long time mentally torturing Sidney in the kitchen as they reveal everything, starting with the fact that Billy was the one who killed Maureen Prescott. Starting with the fact that they were the ones who killed Maureen Prescott. They both did it. How y'all doing? Sorry, I wish I could interact. Billy did it because, oh, I see why I wrote it that way. Okay. Starting with the fact that they were the ones who killed Maureen Prescott. Billy explains that Sid's mom was sleeping with his dad, which caused his mom to leave his family. They framed Cotton Weary for Maureen's murder, just like they plan on framing Sidney's dad for all these murders. To seal the deal on their alibi, they agree to have a little fun time stab around, although Billy takes it a little too far. Now, this scene is when Matthew Lillard throttles his performance into the red zone. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. But I think it works more often than not, so thank you, Mr. Lillard, for whatever that is that you're doing. Alright, do that again. That's on camera. But I think it works more often than not. So thank you, Miss... Fuck. But I think it works more often than not. So thank you, Mr. Lillard, for whatever that is that you're doing. They get interrupted by Gale Weathers, who now has Dewey's gun, but when she forgets to take the safety off, Billy kicks her out onto the porch. He doesn't kill her right there, though, because he's a huge fan of Friends and just needs to see if she'll end up with Chandler in the next season. Sydney takes the opportunity to get away, teasing the killers with a phone call that really pisses off Billy. See, that time it worked. All right, one more. See, that time it worked. One more. Yeah, Matthew Lillard. She pops out of the closet and beats Billy down. Let's get that clean just in case. Yeah. All right. She pops out of the closet and beats Billy down with an umbrella before Stu charges at her and they have a little wrestling match. She eventually subdues him with a vase to the head, then kills him by dropping a TV on his face. It's funny how this kill wouldn't really work nowadays with all our light-ass LED TVs. See, technology makes us safer. Randy comes to just in time to get punched in the face by Billy, who knows... Whoa, the script is all weird. Who knows down Sydney. What? Randy comes to just in time to get punched in the face by Billy, who tackles Sydney and raises his knife to stab her before getting shot by Gal, who, really, Billy, you probably should have killed out there on the porch. Randy tells them about the classic horror movie ending trope. And Billy's finally killed with a gunshot to the head by Sydney, giving us our 7th and final kill of the movie. You'd think there would have been more, but most of the time, Ghostface was just attacking Sydney and letting her get away. Also, all the fake-out deaths don't help the body count, such as Dewey, who's revealed to still be alive and on a stretcher at the end of the movie, which closes with a report from Gale Weathers and a crane shot of that awesome house. And just like that, the horror genre changed forever. Let's do the numbers. Oh yeah, I gotta do this little weird thing that I don't know why I started doing, but now I do every time. The weird, like, jump out of the thing. Do you guys like that? Is it dumb? It's dumb, but maybe you like it. What can I do that's better than that, though? I feel like I've done that. Sorry, internet went down. Sorry. All right. And just like that, the horror genre changed forever. Let's do the numbers. No, fuck. I don't like it. I don't like doing this with you guys watching, is what's the case. I've done some before that I didn't end up using. I'll just do one of those. And just like that, the horror genre changed forever. Let's do the numbers. I'm going with that. That's what I'm going with. All right, cut. Oh, thanks for the super chat, Desiree. If anyone else wants to super chat, feel free to. That's giving me a little money boost. But actually, it would help me more if you did a Patreon subscription. That's a monthly donation or a monthly contribution. It could be, ladies and gentlemen, as little as $1 a month. But if you do $5 or more a month, you get to watch the kill count at least one day early. People this week got to watch the latest episode on a Wednesday. How cool is that, man? Not gonna dab. Man, no, I'm not gonna dab. I'll never dab going to the numbers because it would be just way too lame. All right, I'm not gonna put the Jason mask on, guys. It'll fuck up my hair. Go to patreon.com/deadmeatjames to help support me on Patreon, and that's a monthly contribution. Yes, the entire production is just me. My girlfriend Chelsea does help as far as like setting up the camera goes, but as far as like recording it, editing it, writing it, it's all me, goddammit. All right, let me get moving on the second script because I would like to hang out with my girlfriend tonight, and I'm not even halfway done with these. So now I gotta change. I just gotta change my shirt to do the next one, so 1 second. It'll help practical folks, because then I can leave my job and I can focus more on practical folks and dead meat. Because right now, it's hard for me to have the time to do 2 YouTube channels in addition to a full-time job. And because dead meat gets such better numbers and seems more profitable to me, like that it'll be more successful, the little time that I have goes to dead meat instead of practical folks. Practical folks have been kind of like slipping by the wayside for me. I gotta get Drunk Disney edited. But it's hard for me to find the motivation to do that when Drunk Disney only gets 20,000 views and a kill count gets 250,000 views in a day. So I think, honestly, that it's better overall for dead meat. The other people might disagree with that. I don't know, though. I just want some water, then I'm starting on Scream 2. All right, here we go. Guys, I'm not gonna try on the fucking hockey mask. All right. Okay. Guys, don't use. Okay. There's an influx of people in this channel, just because it's gotten so popular, and that's great. I love it. But don't say racial slurs or any slurs. Come on. Like, why do that? There's no need. We can all be awesome, friendly people, hang out, watch horror movies, talk about kills, be like, what up, guys? It's fun. It's a lot of fun. All right. I feel like I'm going to kind of blend into this background with this shirt, but whatever. That's fine. I'm going to change the camera battery real fast. All right, let's get going on Scream 2. Yeah, all right. Why did I even say anything and have you guys freak out like that? All right. Test, test, test. Welcome to the kill count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. All right. Levels look good. Camera looks good. And I look good. All right. Rolling on all. This is Scream 2, kill count, take 1. My hair is not doing what I want to do today. Yep, this takes up half the time when I'm shooting. Okay, we'll go with this. Great. All right, and the tablet came off, so... The stream will probably last... Fuck, well, it says 45 minutes, and it took me that long to do 1. Times that by 4, I guess. Hopefully I'll be more efficient as it goes on. All right. Welcome to the kill count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Scream 2, released in 1997, less than a year after the original smashed all expectations. Released in 1997, less than a year after the original smashed all expectations with audiences and critics alike. Writer Kevin Williamson and director Wes Craven returned to make a Scream sequel that commented on horror sequels, much like the original commented on the genre in general. With them came the entire surviving cast and a much bigger budget, since the original proved to be such a hit. In this film, Sidney Prescott has moved on to the fictional Windsor College in Ohio and is having a hard time moving past the events of the original since Hollywood just had to go and make a movie about it. Scream 2 is similar to the original in terms of tone and quality, but based on the rules of a sequel... Scream 2 is similar to the original in terms of tone and quality, but based on the rules of a sequel that Randy gives us, it does have a slightly higher body count. How much higher? Let's find out and get to the kills. Oh, that's a long segment that's just on camera. Scream 2 is similar to the original in terms of tone and quality, but based on the rules of a sequel that Randy gives us, it does have a slightly higher body count. How much higher? Let's find out and get to the kills. Scream 2 has a similar opening to the original, killing an established actress to kick off the movie. This time it's Jada Pinkett Smith playing Maureen Evans, a chick who is not excited about the new movie Stab. Her boyfriend Phil convinces her to see it anyway, so they settle in and watch scenes that are a carbon copy of the original film, only with Heather Graham as a fictionalized Casey Becker. Phil heads to the bathroom only to find the urinals occupied by a couple of nice ghost faces, so he steps into a stall where he overhears some weird noises from the next toilet over. When he puts his ear closer for a better listen, mean Ghostface unsheathes his knife and stabs Phil through the partition, who bleeds out his mouth and slinks down to his death. If the stab wound didn't kill him, the infection from lying on the bathroom floor like that probably would have. Ghostface sits down next to Maureen, and after she cowers against his shoulder, she finds blood on his jacket. Then he unsheathes his knife. Oh man, there's a light behind the camera that's fucking up my ability to read these letters. Then he unsheathes his knife once more and stabs her in the stomach. She stands up and tries to get away from the killer, but he follows her, repeatedly sticking her in the back and the side as the audience obliviously cheers around her. She stumbles up to the stage in front of the screen and lets out a howl, before falling back and dying in front of everyone. It's sad that she got killed because people weren't paying attention, but I will say it'd be kind of dope to be in a theater with that many people going balls crazy over a horror movie. After our title card pops up with a slash, we're reintroduced to Sidney Prescott, who has now learned how to use caller ID to ward off people fucking with her. Her roommate, who's now learned how to use caller ID to ward off people fucking with her. She and her roommate Haley find out about the movie theater murders on TV, and reporters swarm her because of the connection. At Sydney's same college is Randy Meeks, who has a debate in his film class with new characters Cece Cooper and Mickey Altieri. There they argue about the merits of sequels, which is really just an excuse for the characters to be self-aware and borderline meta. The murders attract Deputy Dewey. Oh man, this fucking light, and I'm scared about turning it off because it'll change the look of the video, and I don't want to have to color correct for that. The murders attract Deputy Dewey to town, who's limping around way outside his jurisdiction to check in on Sydney and make sure she's okay. The media circus also stirs up Gail Weathers, who blows into town with a new cameraman named Joel, since her last one got his throat slit. She gets some lavish praise by local reporter Debbie Salt, played by Laurie Metcalf, with just the perfect amount of crazy in her eye. Gail hits up Sydney and puts a real with just the perfect amount of crazy in her eye. Gail hits up Sydney and pulls a real frenemy move by confronting her with Cotton Weary, recently exonerated from the crime of murdering Sydney's mom Maureen. Cotton just wants to make amends, but Sydney ain't having it, so she backslaps Gal to the ground. Gal to the ground. Guess they won't be BFFs anytime soon. Also not in the mood to be... Also not in the mood to BFF Gil is Dewey. Guess they're not going to be BFFs anytime soon. Also not in the mood to BFF Gal is Dewey, who's upset about the way she wrote about him in her book. Yeah, well, maybe quit making all those weird fucking faces and you'd get more respect, Dewey. Yeah, well, maybe quit making all those weird faces and you'd get more respect, Dewey. That night there's a big old sorority house party where a very young Portia de Rossi and her sorority sister Rebecca Gayhart try to recruit Sydney to the hashtag Greek life. House sitting another sorority by herself is Cece, who gets a call from a familiar voice. As can be expected, the call turns into harassment. Ugh. As can be expected, the call turns into harassment. And while Cece chats with another sorority sister, Ghostface slides in through the front door. Ghostface slips in through the front door. He attacks Cece and chases her up multiple staircases where she throws plants and bicycles at him before he catches up to her and throws her through the glass door onto the patio. He stabs her a bunch of times in the back, then lifts her up and tosses her several stories down to the concrete ground, giving us our third kill of the movie. If only she had trained to slay Ghostfaces too. If only she had trained to slay Ghostfaces too. The party that Sydney's at is cut short when everyone hears about Cece's murders, so they all rush out and... Wait, what the fuck is that guy doing? What the fuck is that face? That is the best extra ever. Best extra ever. What the fuck is that face? There's a really funny face that this extra makes. It'll be hilarious when you see it, I promise. When Sydney goes back inside to get her denim jacket, she gets a familiar phone call before Ghostface attacks her because, just like the original, this movie isn't afraid of putting Sydney in danger early on. She escapes him because she's Sydney effing Prescott and reunites with Derek, who goes back inside to find and fight Ghostface. Oh, here's a question. Did I mention that Derek's her boyfriend yet in this script? Because I don't think I have. Man, why are you guys freaking the fuck out? Talking about cum, Jesus. Okay, thank you. I'll mention that right now. I should have mentioned that. Thank you, people who are engaging with me and discussing things in a respectable manner. Thanks, Tyler. Yeah, guys, this is going to be a video. I'm just showing you the filming process. All right? Don't worry. Just showing you the filming process. It's going to be a regular kill count. She escapes him because she's Sydney effing Prescott and reunites with her new boyfriend Derek, who goes back inside to find and fight Ghostface. Dewey arrives to find Derek alone and slashed in the arm. How you doing, Sid? How you doing there, Sid? Feeling some trust issues? Yeah, so is Dewey, who's questioning why Derek went back into the house alone. Way to blame the victim, dude. Way to blame the victim, dude. Gail figures out the killer is doing a sort of copycat thing based on the names of the victims, and Sydney gets a couple of detectives to shadow her from now on. Everyone's starting to suspect each other, with Mickey naming Randy as a possible killer, so maybe Derek should just act normal and not start singing to Sid in front of the entire cafeteria in a super cringy rendition of I Think I Love You. Oh, no, you're gonna do that anyway? Alright, dude. Fun fact, Jerry O'Connell had to audition with this scene, and it got him the part. Afterward, he gives his Greek letters to Sydney, which we're told is a big deal? Is that a thing? Is that a thing? After watching a scene from Stab where Tori Spelling plays Sydney and Luke Wilson plays Billy Loomis, Randy explains to Dewey the rules of a sequel. Dewey, for his part, continues to make ridiculous faces. In the school theater, Sydney rehearses the play Agamemnon, where she plays Cassandra. During a seizure-inducing chorus scene, she starts seeing Ghostface in the crowd, but she's not sure if it's real or if she's just freaking out, man. Let's do all that again. In the school theater, Sydney rehearses the play Agamemnon, where she plays Cassandra. During a seizure-inducing chorus scene, she starts seeing Ghostface in the crowd, but she's not sure if it's real or if she's just freaking out, man. Derek shows up at the perfect time to seem suspicious, so Sydney tells him to go on and get it. While hanging out on campus, Randy answers Gal's phone to find Ghostface on the other end. He, Gal, and Dewey try to figure out who's making the call. And whereas in the first Scream it was suspicious when Billy had a cell phone, I guess by 1997 they were much more common since everyone on campus seems to be rocking them. This prevents Gal and Dewey from tracking the killer down in time to save Randy from getting pulled into Gal's van by Ghostface, his screams and struggles being drowned out by a bunch of youths walking by blasting Cottonmouth Kings. Suburban life! Is this still rolling? Cool. Alright. Always gotta check your stuff, make sure they're still rolling, because sometimes it just stops fucking filming and then I'm fucked. Being drowned out by a bunch of youths walking by blasting Cottonmouth Kings. Suburban life! Gal and Dewey eventually find Randy's body in the van, streaked with blood. I was always devastated by the loss of my favorite character, but I also always thought that it looked like someone just squirted a bunch of ketchup all over him. There, little hot dog Randy. Little hot dog Randy. In the library, Sydney gets some creepy proto-AOL messages from the killer, and then Cotton Weary shows up, bugging her about doing an interview with Diane Sawyer. He gets roused up enough for the detectives to slam him up against the wall and take him into the police station, where Cotton gets upset with the way he's being treated. Yeah, well, maybe start acting like it, dude. He's not the only one being affected by this. Seems like everyone's on edge, with Gal cussing out Debbie Salt and cameraman Joel quitting his job out of fear for his life. Dewey and Gal managed to bond, though, so they take Joel's tapes to the university auditorium to see if they can find any clues. Dewey finds a hot one. No, not that pervert. Another tape with footage of the kills. They spot Ghostface in the projector booth, and during the ensuing chase, Dewey and Gal get separated. Gal watches through soundproof glass as Dewey gets stabbed in the back by Ghostface yet again, spitting up blood and sliding down the window in dramatic fashion. But he doesn't make it onto the kill count because, spoiler alert, this movie just repeated the same dead Dewey fake-out as the original. Gal manages to lock... Because, spoiler alert, this movie just... that's on camera, need that clean. Because, spoiler alert, this movie just repeated the same dead Dewey fake-out as the original. Gal manages to lock Ghostface out of her room long enough for him to get bored and do his disappearing act. After Sydney and Haley leave with their detective detail, Derek gets ambushed by his frat douche brothers who are mad at him for giving his Greek letters to Sydney. They tie him up to the theater's set design and engage in some really weird hazing ritual because they're so cool and fratty. Hashtag Greek life. In their cop car, the detectives make a couple of shitty and borderline inappropriate jokes before Ghostface pops up to heckle them with a throat slit for Officer Andrews. These guys were never given much personality to work with. These guys were never given much personality to work with as characters, but at least they're able to beef up the body count. Officer Richards survives his initial bout with Ghostface and pops up to shoot him, but Ghostface turns him into a hood ornament and drives recklessly through the streets, eventually crashing into some pipes that impale the cop through his head. It's a surprisingly gory kill for this film, with Richards twitching as he dies, and I've got to give the movie credit for having such a graphic death. Maybe Randy was right about the increased gore. Sydney and Haley tear through the police car mesh and crawl over the passed out Ghostface to get out of the car. Not sure why they didn't take the opportunity to just choke Ghostface to death or something right there. Not sure why they didn't take the opportunity to just choke Ghostface to death or something right there, but they get out and start running to safety before Sydney determines to turn back and find out who it is. When she gets there, she finds the car empty, and Ghostface pops up behind Haley, stabbing her in the chest and dropping her like it's hot. You just don't want to be friends with Sidney Prescott in these movies. It's basically certain death. You just don't want to be friends with Sidney Prescott in these movies. It's basically certain death. Sydney's alright, though. She runs off and Ghostface gets tired. And Ghostface gets tired, I guess. She makes her way back to the theater where she finds Derek strung up and passed out, all tuckered out by that hashtag Greek life stuff. She finds Derek strung up and passed out, all tuckered out by that hashtag Greek life stuff. Ghostface shows up and reveals that he's Mickey, you know, the character you haven't seen since... Oh, my cat's clawing at the door. Let me let her out. You want out? What do you want to do? You coming out? All right. There you go. You're out here now. Don't be asking to go back in. How y'all doing, guys? Oh, man. Yeah, I was, no, I'm not in the collaboration with Mark. I don't know Markiplier. I met him today. He's very nice, but I'm not in the collaboration video he's doing because we didn't know each other. So he just had, maybe you should move the light slightly to the right. But yeah, he just had my friend TJ and Brizzy over in the thing, and I was with them, so I just went with them and met him, but I wasn't, I was not in the video. So when he releases that, don't expect me to be in it. All right, let me finish this shit up. Thank you, everyone, for giving me such nice comments. Someone banned Kevin, because, what the fuck? Okay. All right, everything is still rolling. Cool. Oh, what? Now you want to go back inside? What? You came out for some food, and now you're back inside. All right. Here. Yep, I'm letting you in. Go ahead. Go. Get in there. You gotta make a choice, Lucy. Yep, there you go. Come on. All right. Okay. Let's finish this out. All right. Sydney's all right, though. She runs off and Ghostface gets tired, I guess. She makes her way back to the theater where she finds Derek strung up and passed out, all tuckered out by all that hashtag Greek life stuff. Ghostface shows up and reveals that he's Mickey, you know, the character you haven't seen since literally that cafeteria scene 45 minutes earlier. So yeah, that's kind of lame. Mickey tries to indict Derek as his partner in crime, causing Sydney to hesitate cutting him down, and then Mickey makes Sid feel super bad by shooting Derek in the chest. It's kind of a bummer that most of the kills in these movies are just stabbings and shootings, you know? But I can appreciate the psychological damage that Mickey did to Sydney right there. Mickey goes on the standard killer tell-all rant, saying how he wants to be caught so he can blame it on the movies and be famous from the trial. And get famous from the trial. Derek's body is struck from the stage, revealing that there's a second killer, and out walks Gail, who is not the second killer, guys. Don't be stupid. Instead, it's Debbie Salt, who Sydney immediately recognizes. In other words, that lady is... Yep. Her motive's a lot simpler than Mickey's. That's right, classic Pamela Voorhees-like revenge. She shows off her crazy a little more by shooting Mickey a couple of times, who, as he's falling down, shoots Gail in the gut, causing her to stage dive into a table. Debbie goes over her whole plan to frame Mickey as the sole murderer here before Sydney hits her with a beer bottle and gets away. She takes an axe to a bunch of ropes behind stage, essentially attacking Mrs. Loomis with college theater production design. There's a big old ruckus on stage with swinging lights and fake flickering flames before some cardboard bricks knock Mrs. Loomis down and bury her. She's not done yet, though, popping out to attack Sydney for another round and actually getting pretty close to stabbing her before Cotton Weary shows up and holds both of them at gunpoint. Debbie pleads with her crazy eyes and tries to turn Cotton against Sydney, but Sydney knows how to win over Cotton's heart. Can't beat Diane Sawyer, Deb. Cotton shoots Mrs. Loomis, and this actually does kill her, if you couldn't tell by Laurie Metcalf's exquisite dead body face right there. That's a decade of Roseanne acting paying off in a big way. Still, the survivors are a little concerned. And rightfully so, since Mickey pops up like a whirling dervish before the ladies shoot the shit out of him, finally killing him for real and giving us our 10th and final kill of the movie. Sorry, Mickey, if you had played dead a little bit longer, you might have been able to just sneak out of there after they left. Just to be safe, Sydney puts one more bullet straight into Debbie's forehead. I'm glad you're safe here, Sid, but I am a little concerned about that kind of overkill. Once again, the movie ends with Dewey alive and wheeled out on a stretcher, this time Gail going with him instead of filing a report. Sydney directs a gaggle of reporters over to Cotton to give him the fame he so desperately desires, then walks off into the quad, content with a job well done in a pretty solid sequel. What do you say we get to the numbers? That's what came to me that time. It just came to me and I did it. Is that okay? I don't know. Did I struggle this much with Friday the 13th? I struggled more, man. It's hard to do this. My mouth gets tired, yo. My mouth gets real tired. Okay. I don't see the I don't understand the point of people like that Kevin guy or whatever. Like, what? What is your life that you don't, that this is what entertains you? To just come into a chat and, like, spam it with shit. You know what? He's probably young. When I was in high school, that's what I would do that same thing, man. I would fuck around in online servers and be a total dick. I was an awful person in high school. I grew up and learned, and hopefully he will too, you know? It'll be all right. I'm also really excited to release these. I'm going to change my shirt and do another one because I got 2 more to do. I'm halfway through. Thanks. Oh, sorry, that might have been loud. And thank you, Emma, for respecting my work ethic. It's inhuman. That's not me saying, like, talking. That's not me, like, trying to brag. It's literally insane how I can just continuously work. It can be a bad thing. Okay, I'm going to change my shirt, change the battery. No, not the battery, the card. And get down with Scream 3. Okay, I have to remember the order of the shirts that I wear, because after I'm done with this part... Oh, fuck. I haven't been doing, like, the outros. Oh, fuck me. Well, I'm glad I started talking it. Okay, all right. Gotta do that. Fuck. Okay. I've got fucking... Yeah, I've got to do, like, the golden chainsaw and all that shit. So I'm not halfway done. That sucks. Just scrolling down this script. Okay. Got it. Oh, what? Oh, here it is. Okay, cool. So yeah, the numbers I do in front of a green screen, and I'll do all 4 of those after I'm done shooting all 4 of these, but I have to do the outro and the awards over here, so I'm glad I remembered before it got too late. Rolling on sound, rolling on camera. This is outro and awards for Scream 1. The awards are really easy because I just stand here and read it. The Golden Chainsaw for Coolest Kill goes to Casey. I really like Tatum and Stu's death, but Casey sent me running from the TV when I was 7, and it's still one of the best ways a horror movie has ever started. I really like Tatum and Stu's deaths, but Casey sent me running from the TV when I was 7, and it's still one of the best starts to a horror movie ever. The dull machete for lamest kill will have to go to Principal Himbry. A couple of gut wounds and an off-screen finish just don't compare to the other kills here. And that's it. Released in 1996, Scream is probably one of the most important horror movies ever made, and that's a fact whether you love it or hate it. Make sure you subscribe if you like this video, and I'll see you next week for Scream 2. Until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count. I'll do that once more just in case. And that's it. Released in 1996, Scream is probably one of the most important horror movies ever made, and that's a fact whether you love it or hate it. Make sure you subscribe if you like this video, and I'll see you next week for Scream 2. Until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count. Bam. Okay, and then let's just cut on both. Cut, and then rolling video, rolling sound. This is the call to action for Scream. This is just improvised. I just say whatever, really. Yeah. Okay. Oh, shit. I have to thank patrons. False take. False take. All right, I'll be right back. I have to get some patron names to thank because if you donate enough, you get your name and a call to action. So, oh, fuck. This is all taped up. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm back. Okay. So yeah, at, I think, $20 or more, you get a shout out from me and a call to action of one of these kill counts. So, rolling, and I'll mention Daniel Kopnick and Cameron Steele. Cameron is awesome, longtime patron of Practical Folks. My other channel, if you haven't checked it out, check out Practical Folks. All right. Hey guys, thanks a lot for watching Kill Count. Hey guys, thanks a lot for watching the Kill Count episode for Scream. As always, I'd like to thank Bloody Disgusting for posting the video. As always, I'd like to thank Bloody Disgusting for posting my videos on their site. I'd also like to thank a couple of patrons like Daniel Kopnick and Cameron Steele. I'd also like to thank a couple of my patrons like Daniel Kopnick and Cameron Steele. To support me and my channel, check out my Patreon at Dead Meat James, and to support me in my channel, you can check out my Patreon. To support me on my channel, you can check out my Patreon at Dead Meat James. There's actually a button for it right over there. Just go ahead and click it, baby. It's all right. It won't bite. Hope you guys didn't get too much whiplash moving from Friday the 13th to Scream. It'll be a fun series to do, though, I promise. All right, see you guys next week. Cool. And then the thing with that is I have to edit it down to exactly 20 seconds for my, all right, random dude. James, if you read this, I would always like your stuff. I don't care if it's not good. Matt Foy, I read it. Now you have to like my shit forever. All right, let's do the outro and shit for Scream 2. Change my shirt again to the pink one. Okay, so now I gotta do that for Scream 2, and then I'll actually be halfway done. I can move on to Scream 3. Rolling on sound. Rolling on video. This is the awards and outro for Scream 2. Pull it up on the teleprompter. It super sucks. I have to like scroll through this entire script when I do this to get down to the outro. So next time I won't forget it. Oh. Did I make it? Okay, cool. All right. It's already rolling, so. Oops. Oh, fuck. No. I like backed out. Now I gotta do that all over again. I'm a dummy. It sucks. For whatever reason, as the series goes on, the scripts get longer and longer. So I know that Scream 3 and Scream 4 have a longer scripts, so it's going to take me a little bit longer. If you like go back and look at those first couple kill counts, I think the second Friday the 13th is like 10 minutes, or is like, no, it's like 7 minutes long, which is crazy considering that like the later ones are like 15. Okay, here we go. I'll give the golden chainsaw to Officer Richards. He didn't have much of a character, but his death was so much more graphic than anyone else's in the film. The The little twitching almost makes you feel for the guy, and the various angles we see it from just drive home the fantastic practical effects. Dull machete for lamest kill goes to Derek. Pretty hard to get more unimaginative than a single slug to the chest. And there you have it. Released in 1997, Scream 2 is a surprisingly solid follow-up to the genre-changing original, with everyone in the cast and crew excited to make it, despite some frantic production issues. Fuck. Get some breath in me. Alright, let's do it. And there you have it. Released in 1997, Scream 2 is a surprisingly solid follow-up to the genre-changing original, with everyone in the cast and crew excited to make it, despite some frantic production issues. Next up, we'll be looking at Scream 3, which had even more production problems and was not so solid of a sequel. But until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count. Alright, I'll do that one once more. And there you have it. Released in 1997, Scream 2 is a surprisingly... And there you have it. Released in 1997, Scream 2 is a surprisingly solid follow... Man, surprisingly keeps tripping me up. And there you have it. Released in 1997, Scream 2 is a surprisingly solid follow-up to the genre-changing original, with everyone in the cast and crew excited to make it, despite some frantic production issues. Next up, we'll be looking at Scream 3, which had even more production problems and was not so solid of a sequel. But until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count. Whoosh. Into the call to action. Cool. Cut on that. Roll on camera. Roll on sound. This is the call to action for Scream 2. Hey guys, thanks a lot for watching the kill count for Scream 2. Oh yeah, the other patrons. Hulk0509, Hulk0509, and Nathan Smith. All right. Like always, I want to thank Bloody Disgusting for continuing to post my videos on their site. Hulk0509 and Nathan Smith. I'd also want to thank patrons Hulk0509 and Nathan Smith. I also want to thank patrons Hulk0509 and Nathan Smith. If you want to be a patron and support me on this channel so that I can release more content for you more frequently, check out my Patreon at Dead Meat James. There's a button right over there that you can click. Otherwise, just continue to watch, subscribe, and like these videos. And I'll see you next week. Thanks a lot, guys. Do you think that's 20 seconds? Just in case it's not. Did you guys like Scream 2? It actually has a higher Rotten Tomatoes score than the original. I found that pretty shocking. All right, cool. Cut. How are we doing, chat? How are we doing, guys? Hey, Metaton Neo likes trains. I said your name. Hi, Clutch Kid. I saw it. You gotta like my screen. Cool. Cool. Hey, what's up? Oh, Cameron Steele is dope as fuck. Don't worry, I'm gonna haunt Kevin's dreams, said Freddy Krueger. Okay, time to do Scream 3. How we doing? Because I was hoping this wouldn't take more than 2.5 hours. It's 1.5 hours? All right. That's okay. That's okay. Let me load up the Scream 3 script. Yo, I'm getting hungry as fuck. Scream 3, Scream 3. Guys, Scream 3 sucks so much. It's really bad. All right, hair check. Oh my god, I can't believe I was at VidCon today. It has been an enormously long day. I was at VidCon, came home, edited Scream 4, which took a long time, rewrote the Scream 4 script, took a like 10-minute nap, and then it was off to the races, shooting this shit. Scream 4 is the worst, and the fourth one is okay. You are right. Thank you, Makai. And seriously, I just want to reiterate everyone who's in the chat and who's being cool and who's being supportive. You guys are fucking awesome. Thank you so much. You're the reason I do stuff like this. So thank you. Yeah, people like Cameron Durham. Thanks, man. People, I didn't catch that name. Whoever just said keep up the progress. Jared Medina, ACS 19. Thank you guys so much. Okay. I really appreciate it. All right, let's keep this boy going. Rolling on sound. Rolling on video. This is Scream 3. I'm worried the camera battery is going to die during this, but we'll see how far we make it. Take one. Told you this is like half the fucking runtime of this footage. Let's do it. Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Scream 3, released in the year 2000 as the final chapter of the Scream trilogy, until the fourth one came out 11 years later. Let's do that again. Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Scream 3, released in the year 2000 as the final chapter of the Scream trilogy, until the fourth one came out 11 years later. Just like the first two films, Scream 3 is self-aware and metatextual, commenting on tropes and traditions in horror movies, this time focusing on what happens when the trilogy ends. Unlike the first two, though, this movie is not very good. Unlike the first two, though, this movie is not very good. The tone has shifted drastically away from horror and into comedy, which, to be fair, was mostly because production began less than a month after the Columbine shooting. But there's also just a bunch of bad decisions all over the place. For instance, Jay and Silent Bob show up for a quick cameo. And the killer's new plot device is painfully lazy. Ghostface now has a tool that lets him mimic absolutely anybody's voice, meaning you can never trust that the person on the phone is who they say they are. That technology doesn't even exist today, yet alone 17 years ago. Oh well, at least there aren't like ghosts of Sydney's dead mom running around, right? You're kidding. Let's just get to the kills. Did I see a super chat? I thought I saw a super chat out of the corner. Oh, super chat, Rose Montgomery. Oh, Rose, thank you. Dude, you don't need a super chat. You're already a patron. And you're the one that I'm thanking in the next one. In fact, you're the only patron that I'm thanking in this. Sorry that's Scream 3, but you're the only ones. You're the only one I'm thanking. Okay. Has a tool that lets him mimic absolutely anyone's voice, meaning you can never trust that the person on the phone is who they say they are. That technology doesn't even exist today, yet alone 17 years ago. Oh well, at least there aren't like ghosts of Sydney's mom. Oh well, at least there aren't like ghosts of Sydney's dead mom running around. I don't know if I need that all in one take. That technology doesn't even exist today, yet alone 17 years ago. Oh well, at least there aren't like ghosts of fuck, it's a lot of stuff. That technology doesn't even exist today, yet alone 17 years ago. Oh well, at least there aren't like ghosts of Sydney's dead mom running around. You're joking. Let's just get to the kills. We all know by now that the Scream movies have intro scenes that kill off a couple of characters, so it's a little sad when the first person we see is Cotton Weary. He's finally got the fame he's always sought. With a TV show and a home in Los Angeles. But he's also got a problem in the form of in the form of a phone call from our favorite sexy-voiced killer. Ghostface tells him that his girlfriend Christine is in danger, so Cotton rushes home, driving very recklessly down Hollywood Boulevard. Back at home, Christine is the first one tricked by that stupid fucking voice changer thing when Ghostface pretends to be Cotton in her apartment. He chases her down, then still pretends to be Cotton from the other side of the door? He chases her down and then still pretends to be Cotton from the other side of the door? What the fuck? This thing is supposed to sound perfectly like another human being, even in person? I can't with this, for real. Cotton finally gets home, but because Christine got fooled by that bullshit, she takes a golf club and whacks him in the head with it. Ghostface comes from behind and stabs her in the back for our first kill of the movie. I'm already so mad about the voice changing thing again, guys. I'm just so mad about that voice changing thing again, guys. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be pissy this whole kill count. Stupid thing. Cotton tries to escape and knocks a bookcase down onto Ghostface, but then gets thrown across the room with a ridiculous sound effect. Yeah, I'm sure 6'3" Liev Schreiber would fly through the air from a hit like that. Anyway, with Cotton down, Ghostface plunges his knife into his chest and reveals his little voice box thing. Then goes to stab him in the head to end the intro. Then goes to stab him in the head to end the intro sequence. Man, I'm really losing it here. I can feel it. Like I have to keep repeating lines more often. Getting tired. Mouth's getting tired. It's time to check in with Sidney Prescott and see how she's doing. She's living in the California mountains with a whole bunch of security measures and a cute little puppy. And she's taken up a job as a crisis counselor. Which I might want to avoid phones after having multiple shit. It also doesn't help that I can't really see the script with this light behind it that I probably should have changed. And it's kind of a new script. And she's taken up a job as a crisis counselor, which, I might want to avoid phones after having multiple phone-based murder sprees target me, but I guess I'm not Sidney Prescott strong. Meanwhile, Gal is giving lectures to college journalism classes, and she's contacted by Detective Mark Kincaid about Cotton Weary's death. Apparently, the murderer left a picture of Maureen Prescott on Cotton's body, our first hint that this movie's going to steep itself in a bunch of retconning backstory. Over on a Hollywood lot where they're producing Stab 3, director Roman Bridges... Oh, shit. Is it Bridger or Bridges? Because I have Bridger written down. On a lot where they're producing Stab 3, director Roman Bridges and producer John Milton argue with a bunch of studio execs about whether or not to move forward with production after the murders. Sorry, Editor James, you're fucking dealing with this. Pretty meta considering the whole Columbine thing. Milton is skeptical, that there's any connection, but Kincaid's partner, Detective Wallace, thinks otherwise. Next, we meet the cast of Stab 3. You got Tyson playing a Randy Meeks-like character, Angelina replacing Tori Spelling as Sid, Tom Prince as a much sexier Deputy Dewey, and Sarah Darling as some character named Candy. When Gal comes to set to do some classic camera in the purse investigating. Yeah, this is a very new script, and I'm not familiar with it. When Gal comes to set to do some classic camera in the purse investigating, she runs into Jennifer Jolie, the actress playing her in the movie. Looks like Jennifer's hooking up with the Dew Man, who shows up with his trademark face twitching and weird line readings only David Arquette can deliver. Seriously, dude, learn to do something with your face, because right now you're unsettling. Anyway, Dewey's a technical advisor on the film because, fuck it, we need some reason to have all these people together again. Sydney and her dad talk about how isolated she is and how he wishes she'd come back home. They also talk about her mom, so when Sydney goes to sleep later that night, she has a dream where her mom comes and visits her. It's pretty stupid, but also actually kind of creepy. I mean, check this out. Yeah, that one got me. It's not quite as scary when she just kind of slides down the window, but whatever. Sydney's dream ends with Ghostface attacking her through the window, but she wakes up and everything's okay. For now. And everything's okay. For now. For now. Sarah heads to the lot in order to work on her lines and test herself for breast cancer. Roman calls and she complains to him about her. Roman calls and she complains to him about her character. Roman calls and she complains to him about her character in the movie and the filming process. That's actually also a super meta line because that happened to the real cast during Scream 2 and 3. That's actually also another super meta line because that happened to the real cast during Scream 2 and 3. Eventually, he starts getting creepy with her and he becomes Ghostface. When she goes to hide in the prop closet among a bunch of empty Ghostface costumes, the real Ghostface pops out and attacks her, and we get a gimmicky fight where Sarah keeps grabbing prop weapons to defend herself with. Ghostface ends the farce by punching her through a glass window and stabbing her in the back, giving us our third kill of the film. I keep wondering if Sarah was supposed to be Sarah Michelle Gellar's character from Scream 2, or if that makes any sense, or if it even matters at all. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. Alright. That night, I'm going to check to make sure my camera's still recording. It is. Sound's still recording. How y'all doing? Ghostface, Jared. Angry James is something. Am I angry? Am I angry? That have no plot to them. Just Killer Fillers. That's a fun little name. Angry James might show up. No, Angry James doesn't have time to show up. I gotta get this shit done. Alright. Cool. That night, the cast assembles at Jennifer's house in the hills to rip up their scripts because the movie's finally been shut down. Jennifer shows Dewey a headshot of hers, and Gail oversees their little bedroom interaction by spying in through the window. She's discovered by Jennifer's bodyguard, Stephen Stone, played by Patrick Warburton, he's just the best guy ever. Who is just the best guy ever. Hold me like a baby, Patrick. Aw, Patrick, hold me like a baby. After he brings Gail inside, she tells Dewey that another picture of Maureen Prescott was left at the scene of Candy's murder. Dewey notices that, oh wait, no, it's Sarah? Sarah Darling? Is it Candy or Sarah? Was left at the scene of Sarah Darling's murder. Got myself covered either way. Dewey notices that one of Maureen's pictures was taken in the exact spot that Jennifer's headshot was, revealing that Maureen had been in Los Angeles when she was 19 years old. When she was 19 years old, unbeknownst to her family or the audience or the writer back when he wrote the original. Retcon! Retcon! Stone does a perimeter check and gets a call from Dewey right as he's going inside Dewey's trailer to snoop around. As you've certainly guessed by now, the call isn't really from Dewey, but rather Ghostface, who pops out and stabs him in the back. Stone fights back because he's Patrick fucking Warburton, but Ghostface drives the knife deeper in by kicking him into the wall and then while he's... What? By kicking him into the wall and then while he's doing... The script says while he's doing. What does that mean? What the fuck, James? By kicking him into the wall and then by driving it in with a frying pan. And then while he's down, driving it in with a frying pan. One of those will work. Still, Stone manages to stumble to the front door before finally falling down and dying. And with Patrick Warburton dead, my interest in the movie drops by half. Now everyone's freaking out and the lights go out and they get a fax from the killer detailing what's happening in screenplay form. It's a super unlikely sequence with all of them going back and forth outside and inside. And for some reason just having to read the next page of Ghostface's shitty first draft screenplay. Bet you the first scene is a dude waking up. Alright. Tom goes inside by himself to read the final page, and although he's able to read part of the script, I guess it's too dark in there to read more than 8 words. He strikes a Zippo for light and blows the fuck up. I guess it's too dark in there to read more than 8 words, so he strikes a Zippo for light and blows the fuck up because the house was filled with gas? There's so much unlikely shit that led to this death successfully happening that I don't have the time to bitch about right now. So let's just move on and we can all whine together about it, and we can all whine about it together in the comments. And we can all whine about it together in the comments. On a road down the hill, Ghostface attacks Gale, but Dewey shoots him down until Ghostface scrambles underneath the car, causing Ghostface to scramble underneath the car. Jennifer shows up, and Gale, for once, is on the giving end of a punch, and then Angelina stumbles up to them suspiciously late. On the ground by the car, they discover another headshot of Maureen, this time with a little note. What? Come on, Scream 3. Billy Loomis and Stu Macher killed Maureen Prescott. Remember for flashing her shit around town like she was Sharon Stone? Remember for flashing her shit around town like she was Sharon Stone? Even Gal and Dewey know that shit's whack, and they tell Kincaid as much. But he's too busy being borderline obsessed with Sydney, asking Dewey where she is in a very creepy way. Lucky for him, earlier Sydney got a call from Ghostface on her home line, scaring her out of her safe haven. Scaring her out of her safe haven and causing her to come to the police station where reunions and hugs are had aplenty. She doesn't have any info about her mom though, so she's not too much of a help to Kincaid. The next stop for the gang is the back lot where this chick shows up, and I guess it's Martha Meeks, Randy's never before mentioned sister. She has a tape for them, and it ends up being Randy, who apparently filmed himself before his death in Scream 2 so he could inform them all about the rules of a trilogy, and also so Jamie Kennedy could make rent that month. Randy makes an excuse for this movie's shitty retconning. And then he signs off, never to get meta again. Gale and Jennifer team up and go to the studio archives where Carrie Fisher cameos as a character who looks like Carrie Fisher and has some sharp words about Carrie Fisher. God, rest in peace, Carrie Fisher. You were amazing. She gives them, I'm going to double check that the camera's still recording, which it is, that's good. That's still recording, cool. Scream 3, you suck so much. She gives them Maureen's file, which reveals that she worked on a couple of John Milton movies back in the day, making him a suspect. Meanwhile, Sid runs into Angelina in the bathroom, who has a ghost face mask on her, making her a suspect. You know what Randy would say? But he's dead, so he's actually not much. You know what Randy would say? But he's dead, so he's not really saying anything anymore, is he? Sid wanders out onto the set of Stab 3, which for no fucking reason has all the locations from the original Scream, which would have been covered in Stab 1. And then what the fuck was even in Stab 2? What the fuck are these Stab movies? Gotta build that anger up a little more to have that play, right? From the original Scream, which would have been covered in Stab 1, so what the fuck was even in Stab 2? What the fuck are these Stab movies? That works. Ghostface pops up and grabs Sydney, setting off a classic chase between them, including running upstairs and throwing shit down at him. Including the whole running up the stairs and throwing shit down at him thing. When Sydney gets away from Ghostface, she discovers a bloody room and then gets attacked by a super creepy Ghost Bod, causing her to tumble out the second-story window. The cops show up and save her, finding no trace of Ghostface upstairs. Dewey and the Gales burst into John Milton's office to question him, where Roman has been bitching about his movie being shut down. Also, it's his birthday, and he's having a party that night. Yeah, so did the writer until he was writing this scene. Milton confirms that Maureen did in fact work for him, but he never mentioned it because she had gotten caught up in some rapey-sounding Hollywood sex parties. Ew. Dewey gets a call from Sydney, who says she's going to Roman's party at Milton's house, so he and the ladies head over there to find that, gasp, Sydney was never invited to the party in the first place. To find that, gasp, Sydney was never invited to the party in the first place. To find that, Sydney was never invited to the party in the first place. Wow, it's almost like having the killer... Wow, it's almost like the killer having everyone's voice creates cheap and easy ways to get characters to go places. Wow, it's almost like the killer having everyone's voice creates cheap and easy ways to get characters to go places. The stab cast and crew start wandering around to explore Milton's old Hollywood home, even though Tyson makes a pretty good point. While they're gone, Dewey and Gale discover the phone that called Dewey is in the hall closet, along with that awful fucking plot device. How? How does it have your voices? I miss Kevin this is all on camera. How? How does it have your voices? I miss Kevin Williamson, who wrote all the other Screams, but not this one. Do that one more time. How? How does it have your voices? I miss Kevin Williamson, who wrote all the other Screams, but not this one. Dewey and Gale split up because nobody has any goddamn sense anymore, and in the basement, Gale discovers Roman's body in a coffin. She checks his pulse. Wait, hold on. She checks his pulse. I'm going to go ahead and spoil that he's not actually dead here, because it doesn't make any fucking sense, because she checks his pulse. God damn it, this movie is dumb. The ladies all wind up together, but Angelina gets scared and kind of does a Gollum yell at the gals, shocking them both before she runs off down that hallway in a super funny way. She doesn't make it very far, though. Getting cut off by Ghostface, who stabs her in the chest, killing her as she screams. I really like Emily Mortimer, but she was definitely wasted in this role. Not much to do besides look shady and run awkwardly. Hi guys, this is commendable. Yeah, transparency. Fuck yeah, dude. Thank you, Giselario Miranda. I think I got it. Okay, let me keep going and I'll check in with you guys a little later. Make sure the camera's still recording, which it is. Great. After a Disney Channel-like scream from the gals, everyone gets attacked by Ghostface again, and when Tyson tries to fight back, he gets stabbed in the gut. He runs away, yelling about calling the police and getting in a funny line during the pursuit. But Ghostface catches up and pulls the rug out from underneath him, causing this wicked backflip onto his neck. Ouch! Just to be sure he's dead, though, Ghostface throws him off the balcony, where his body will lie for the rest of the movie. Seriously, it's just lying there in so many shots. I hope the actor had a day rate for all the... I hope the actor had a day rate for all the extra times he probably had to come to set and just lie there dead. Ghostface chases Jennifer through secret passageways in the mansion before cornering her in these pervy two-way mirrors overlooking a bedroom. Dewey tries to free her with his gun, but she gets stabbed in the gut, her body ultimately falling through the final mirror pane onto the floor. Just once in this movie, I'd like to see an inventive or extra gory kill, but nope, just not gonna happen. Eventually, Ghostface is able to snatch up Gale and tumble with her down the stairs into the basement. He knocks him out for a little bit, but he comes to just in time to subdue Dewey by hitting him in the head with the handle of his knife, knocking him out cold. Gale chooses to cuddle up to Dewey instead of being strong. like she was in the first two movies, so now Ghostface has them both. Sydney gets bored at the police station and finds Kincaid's serial killer-like scrapbook about her. Looking pretty suspicious there, Kincaid. Yeah, Randy, we know. That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying, Randy. She ends up getting a call from Ghostface. Yeah, but like, it is also who you are. That's kind of the whole point of these movies. Yeah, but like, it is also kind of who you are. It's kind of the whole point of the movies. Um, he tells her to come to Milton's mansion by herself if she wants to save Gale and Dewey, so she reluctantly agrees to, but not before spying with her little eye some body armor hanging up in the office. She also takes Detective Walsh's gun, which has got to be a felony or something. Ghostface ain't no dummy, though, so when Sidney arrives, he makes her use a metal detector on herself and throw her gun in the pool before coming inside. Once inside, he attacks her, but she pulls a second gun out and shoots him several times. Movie's over, right? Nope, we're not so lucky, because after she unties Dewey and Gale, Ghostface disappears like he always does. Kincaid then shows up with that suspicious timing that's always happening in these movies, but he pushes Sid to safety when Ghostface shows up and attacks. Ghostface knocks out Kincaid with a kick and a fire mantle, then for the umpteenth time, he chases Sidney around a house. Starting to get pretty old there, guys. Sidney goes behind a secret bookcase and finds a projector showing old footage of her mom. Ghostface reveals himself to be Roman, who's also Sidney's half-brother. See, Maureen had another kid when she was in Hollywood, Roman, but when he tracked her down years later, she turned him away. So he started filming her dalliances around town with Cotton Weary and Billy's werewolf-looking father, which he ended up showing to Billy to convince him and Stu to murder Maureen. You know, like a director. Yeah, we got it, dude. Roman plans to frame Sidney for everything, making it look like she killed everyone else, leading up to John Milton, the man who Roman blames for Maureen's loss of innocence. He slits Milton's neck and throws him to the ground, giving us our 9th kill in the movie, and the only one where it's like, yeah, maybe that dude deserved it. Sidney and Roman have a little scuffle, during which a lot of things are broken against Roman's head, and he just punches and kicks the crap out of her. Kincaid tries to come to the rescue, but gets knocked out by Roman, causing him to drop his gun on the ground. Roman takes it and shoots Sidney in the gut. Damn! And he ain't done yet, he also shoots her in the chest. Double damn! But then he looks away and she pulls a Ghostface, disappearing from sight only to pop up and stab Roman in the back a couple of times with an ice pick. She shows off her bulletproof vest, then delivers one final plunging stab to his chest. Dewey and Gale show up, just in the nick of too late. Dewey cautions Sidney, and it turns out he's right, because Roman pops up and charges at him. Dewey shoots a ton of bullets into Roman's chest before he finally lands a headshot, putting Roman down for good, giving us our 10th and final kill of the movie and ending Roman's whiny little massacre. Seriously, that guy was lame. The film ends at Sidney's idyllic home with Dewey proposing to Gale. It's a ring in a book. Open up the cover page, a ring in a book. Yeah, you guys like that? You like that little song? She says yes, giving us another kind of meta moment, as Cox and Arquette were already married after meeting on set of the first Scream. The two of them, Kincaid and Sidney, all have a movie night, and when Sidney's door blows open, she leaves it open because symbolism. Also, because California got that bomb-ass weather and there ain't no mosquitoes here. West Coast, best coast, let's do the numbers. Ugh, that was a bad one. I'm going to redo that. Thanks, Twin Sword 79. I did Daniel Lawrence. I had already filmed 1 and 2. Give me a shout out for YouTube. Heck yeah, 152. Oh, did it surpass Practical Folks? I figured it would today. Yeah. I'm going to do that outro one more time, then I got to do the fucking stuff. Also, because California got that bomb-ass weather and there ain't no mosquitoes here. West Coast, best coast, let's do the numbers. God, they're so lame. I guess I'm going to stick with that one, though. Cutting on sound. Cutting on camera. Oh, no. Oh, no. The camera stopped recording at some point. Let me see when it did. Shit. Oh no, that was so long ago, guys. Fuck. I don't know if the card filled up or what. Shit. It is. The card was full. Alright. That was back when, like, Tyson died. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. I need to go get a new card. 1 second. Son of a bitch. This always happens. So I think I'm not going to record the numbers part tonight. Just because, like, this sucks that I have to redo this. It's probably starting to get late. And I would have to, like, clean up the green screen. So you guys won't see that. But I do want to finish this, like, Scream 4. Just found out your channel today. Watched every video. What movie did you do today? I'm doing this Scream series, Twig. These come out every Friday. So, next Friday. Yeah, let me get this going. Sorry, guys. I'll try to keep checking in, but, you know, I want to get this done. Okay, so, damn it, I'm so upset. Rolling on picture, rolling on sound. This is Scream 3, take 2. Fuck. Let's see how far back this is. It's before Roman reveals himself, so that sucks. Shit. Son of a bitch. I wish the camera would make a noise when, like, the card filled, because that really sucks. Okay, here it is. He runs away, yelling about calling the police and getting in a funny line during the pursuit. But Ghostface catches up and pulls the rug out from underneath him, causing this wicked backflip onto his neck. Ouch. Just to be sure he's dead, though, Ghostface throws him off the balcony, where his body will lie for the rest of the movie. Seriously, it's just lying there in so many shots. I hope the actor had a day rate for all the extra times he probably had to come to set to just lie there dead. To just lie there dead. Ghostface chases Jennifer through secret passageways in the mansion before cornering her in these pervy two-way looking mirrors overlooking a bedroom. Dewey tries to free her with his gun, but she gets stabbed in the gut, her body ultimately falling through the final mirror pane onto the floor. Just once in this movie I'd like to see an inventive or extra gory kill, but nope, it's just not going to happen. Eventually, Ghostface is able to snatch up Gal and tumble with her down the stairs into the basement. It knocks him out for a little bit, but he comes to just in time to subdue Dewey by hitting him in the head with the handle of his knife, knocking him out cold. Gal chooses to cuddle up to Dewey instead of being strong like she was in the first two movies, so now Ghostface has both of them. Sidney gets bored at the police station and finds Kincaid's... Oh no, my mouth's getting all spitty. Sidney gets bored at the police station and finds Kincaid's serial killer-like scrapbook about her. Sidney gets bored at the police station and finds Kincaid's serial killer-like scrapbook about her. Looking pretty suspicious there, Kincaid. Yeah, we know, Randy. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Randy, we know. That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying, Randy. She ends up getting a call from Ghostface. Yeah, but, like, it is also who you are, you know? That's kind of the whole point of these movies. Yeah, but, like, you know, it is also who you are. That's kind of the whole point of these movies. He tells her to come to Milton's mansion by herself if she wants to save Gal and Dewey, so she reluctantly agrees to, but not before spying with her little eye some body armor hanging up in the office. She also takes Detective Wallace's gun, which has gotta be a felony or something. Ghostface ain't no dummy, though, so when Sidney arrives, he makes her use a metal detector on herself and throw her gun in the pool before coming inside. Once inside, he attacks her, but she pulls a second gun out and shoots him several times. Movie's over, right? Nope, we're not so... Movie's over, right? Movie's over, right? No, we're not so lucky, because after... No, we're not so lucky, because after Sidney unties Dewey and Gal, Ghostface disappears like he always does. Kincaid then shows up with that suspicious timing. That's always happening in these movies, but he pushes Sid to safety when Ghostface shows up and attacks. When Ghostface returns and attacks. Ghostface knocks out Kincaid with a kick and a fire mantle, then for the umpteenth time, he chases Sidney around a house. Starting to get pretty old, guys. Starting to get pretty old there, guys. Sidney goes behind a secret bookcase and finds a projector showing old footage of her mom. Ghostface reveals himself to be Roman, who's also Sidney's half-brother. See, Maureen had another kid when she was in Hollywood, Roman, but when he tracked her down years later, she turned him away. So he started filming her dalliances around town with Cotton Weary and Billy's werewolf-looking father, which he ended up showing to Billy to convince him and Stu to murder Maureen. You know, like a director. Yeah, we got it, dude. Yeah, I just said that. Yeah, we got it, dude. Roman plans to frame Sidney for everything, making it look like she killed everyone else, leading up to John Milton, the man who Roman blames for Maureen's loss of innocence. He slits Milton's neck and throws him to the ground, giving us our ninth kill in the movie, and the only one where it's like, yeah, maybe that dude deserved it. Sidney and Roman have a little scuffle, during which a lot of things are broken against Roman's head, and he just punches and kicks the crap out of her. Kincaid tries to come to the rescue, but gets knocked out by Roman, causing him to drop his gun on the ground. Roman takes it and shoots Sidney in the gut. Damn! And he ain't done yet. He also shoots her in the chest. Double damn! But then he looks away and she pulls a Ghostface. Disappearing from sight, only to pop up and stab Roman in the back a couple of times with an ice pick. She shows off her bulletproof vest, then delivers one final plunging stab to his chest. Dewey and Gal show up, just in the nick of too late. Just in the nick of who cares. Dewey cautions Sidney, and it turns out he's right, because Roman pops back up and charges at him. Dewey shoots a ton of bullets into Roman's chest before he finally lands a headshot, putting Roman down for good and giving us our 10th and final kill of the movie, and ending Roman's whiny little massacre. Seriously, that guy was lame. The film ends at Sidney's idyllic home with Dewey proposing to Gal. It's a ring in a book. Open up the cover page, a ring in a book. She says yes, giving us another kind of meta moment, as Cox and Arquette were already married after meeting on set of the original Scream. The two of them, Kincaid and Sidney, all have a movie night, and when Sidney's door blows open, she leaves it open because symbolism. Also, because California got that bomb-ass weather and there ain't no mosquitoes here. West Coast, best coast, let's do the numbers. That's what I'm going with. I don't feel like doing it again. Cut. Oh, and now the battery's blinking. Glad that it held on. Can change this battery. Guys, I don't know if you've ever filmed things, but it's hard. It's hard to film things. Wethead, here's your shout out, and these come out every Friday, so, you know, it'll come out. Okay, let's do the award and outro. Hey, you know what? In a few months, there's going to be so many videos on my channel. It'll be dope. And if, let me just drive this home some more. If this becomes my job, I will release multiple videos a week. I promise. Just got to make that money so I can quit my current job, which I've always wanted to do. Rolling on sound. Rolling on, yeah. rolling on video. This is the awards and outro for Scream 3. Take one. Golden Chainsaw is tough since nothing stood out to me, but I'll give it to Tyson solely because of that backflip. I used to do backyard wrestling when I was a kid, and just looking at this fall reminds me of all the times I got real scared someone had broken their neck. Dull Machete has options aplenty, but I'm gonna give it. Dull Machete has on the Dull Machete. Conversely, Dull Machete has options aplenty, but I'm gonna give it to Tom Prince. I know his death is actually the most unique in the movie, but the convoluted lead up to the kill is just too unbelievable. It's just too unbelievable to be anything more than really dull. And that's Scream 3. I'd consider it the embarrassing third child of the Scream franchise, a child so trapped in the shadow of its older siblings that it can't help but suck a whole lot. Next up, we'll be looking at Scream 4, which isn't great, but it's at least a step up from this hot piece of garbage. Until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count. Redo that, but that was alright. And then I'll be done with Scream 3. And that's Scream 3. I'd consider it the embarrassing third child. Third child? And that's Scream 3. I'd consider it the embarrassing third child of the Scream franchise, a child so trapped in the shadow of its older siblings that it can't help but suck a whole lot. Next up, we'll be looking at Scream 4, which, isn't great, but it's a lot of but is at least a step up from this hot piece of garbage. I was too ahead of the teleprompter on that one. And that's Scream 3. I'd consider it the embarrassing third child of the Scream franchise, a child so trapped in the shadow of its older siblings that it can't help but just suck a whole lot. Next up, we'll be looking at Scream 4, which isn't great, but it is a step up from this hot piece of garbage. Until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count. Cool. Cut there. Cut. Thanks, Tyler, for posting that link. Alright, guys, let's fucking do Scream 4 and be done with this shit. I mean, tomorrow morning I'll film the numbers part, but that can wait. That can wait. That actually only takes seriously, it takes 3 minutes per thing because it's just the one take. But like I said, I would have to clean that area of my apartment to get it ready, and I would rather just hang out with my girlfriend because I miss her and she's been locked in our bedroom while I do this. Not locked. That sounds like I locked her in there, which is not what happened. She's just chilling in there and giving me privacy to do this. Yep, Scream 4, and then I'll be done for the night. Free Chelsea. Jared Medina, thanks for being sub since 4K. Rachel Parker, you can super chat, it's giving me money. E Meckham, thanks, man. Telling me I'm doing great. Hashtag Free Chelsea. Guys, tweet at her. Tweet at her that you're sending help to get her out of the bedroom. She's gonna be like, what the fuck? Alright, hold on. I'm going to... Yeah, no, I'm really happy with you guys here. Oh, $2 to Free Chelsea. I'm really happy with the people here. The people who aren't being fucking trolls like those people early. Oh, or like Jaden Jorgensen who just said I'm kind of ugly. That sucks. Thanks, man. The K word? What is that? I'm going to get some water. I'll be right back with a new shirt and Scream 4.
All right. Okay. You guys ready for Scream 4? I'm sorry for the vertical stream. It won't let me change it. I've never streamed live to YouTube on my phone. And it was like, fucking decide right now. And I just chose it. And it won't let me change my mind, man. Yeah. All right, guys. Cool. What are you all saying you're going to do? What? What's my favorite Scream movie? I think the first one. Second one's pretty good too, though. Wow, you guys are freaking out, man. Okay. Cool. Time for Scream 4, and we're gonna finish this shit. And then tomorrow, you guys are so cool. Oh, hey, since you guys are in the chat, I'll give you, I believe I finalized my schedule for kill counts leading all the way through the end of October. So I'll let you guys know, since you're hanging out in the chat, I will be doing the Jeepers Creepers movie, since there's a new one coming out. I'll be doing It, for also the same reason. For the months of September and October, it'll be all the Child's Play movies, so all the Chucky movies. And then, besides that, I'll be doing The Thing. I'm going to be doing Cabin in the Woods, since it's so requested. And I'll also be doing, for me, I'm going to be doing the movie Ice Cream Man. I'm gonna advertise it as a, hey, it's hot outside in the summer. Why don't you get some ice cream with the Ice Cream Man? And I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but I remember loving it. It's probably awful, but it'll be a fun one. That might be all of it. Guys, I can't do Saw or Nightmare or Texas Chainsaw or Halloween until... Oh my God, you guys really want Saw. I can't do those until this is my job, man. Those are so many movies, all right? I'm sorry. Right now, I'm an editor for Fox, though. Okay, all right, let's go. Let's do this. Rolling. And... rolling on camera. This is Scream 4. Take one. Home stretch, James. Okay. Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Scream 4, released in 2011 and released in 2011 and the last film directed by Wes Craven before his death in 2015. Scream 4 is a movie that by many accounts isn't necessary. The original three films position themselves as an open and shut trilogy, each installment commenting on tropes in the various stages of a horror franchise. Why make a fourth film, especially 11 years after the last one? Well, because since 2000, when Scream 3 came out, many horror classics were getting rebooted and remade. And thus Scream 4 was created to comment on what happens when franchises are brought back from the dead. It also comments on series that run themselves into the ground, with the fictional Stab franchise going on 7 installments at this point. Sidney, Gale, and Dewey are reunited in the place where it all began, Woodsboro, California, when a brand new slew of murders start cropping up. Rounding out the cast is a bunch of fresh young faces, all eager to get killed. Speaking of which, let's get to them. I guess I'll do one more take of that whole intro. I won't like that when I'm editing, because I'd rather just fucking have my one option and go, but maybe I fucked something up, and it'd be good to have... My hair is so fucking annoying. Just lay the fuck over, man. I don't know. Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Scream 4, released in 2011 and the last film directed by Wes Craven before his death in 2015. Scream 4 is a movie that by many accounts isn't necessary. The original three films position themselves as an open and shut trilogy, each installment commenting on tropes in the various stages of a horror franchise. Why make a fourth film, especially 11 years after the last one? Well, because since 2000, when Scream 3 came out, many horror classics were getting rebooted and remade. And thus Scream 4 was created to comment on what happens when franchises are brought back from the dead. It also comments on series that run themselves into the ground, with the fictional Stab franchise going on 7 installments at this point. with the fictional Stab franchise going on 7 installments at this point. Sidney, Gale, and Dewey are reunited in the place where it all began, Woodsboro, California, when a brand new slew of murders start cropping up. Rounding out the cast is a bunch of fresh young faces all eager to get killed. Speaking of which, let's get to them. The movie begins as all the others do with a phone. The movies begin as all the others do with a phone call. Sleepover pals Trudy and Sherry get harassed by our old pal Ghostface after chatting about the current state of the horror genre. In no time at all, literally less than 4 minutes in, they get killed. Ghostface jumps out and stabs Trudy in the chest with the only weapon he's ever shown proficiency. Ooh, this is a hard one to say. With the only weapon he's ever shown proficiency in, the hunting knife. It was always a retractable blade in the original 3, but this film uses a CG blade instead. I never noticed. A second Ghostface pops out. Man, I feel like the teleprompter's moving a little fast. A second Ghostface pops out and slits Sherry's throat and then runs away, letting her do a nice dramatic death slide in the corner. As we're left wondering why neither of these actors were well-known stars. Kind of breaking the trend there, aren't you, Scream 4? Well, not actually, because it turns out that this is... Stab 6! That's right, none of that was real. But movies aren't real in general, so I'm still putting those kills on my list. Watching Stab 6 are Rachel and Chloe, 2 actors who we do know, so that makes us feel a lot more at home in this series. Rachel's not a big fan, though, talking mad shit about Stab. Wait, that sounds a lot like... Oh, Scream 4, you cheeky meta bastard. Talking mad shit about Stab. Wait, that sounds a lot like Oh, Scream... Oh, man. I hate acting. I'm so bad at it. Wait, that sounds a lot like... Oh, Scream 4, you cheeky meta bastard. In either case, Chloe doesn't agree with Rachel, and to prove just how much she loves the Stab films, she stabs Rachel in the gut with a knife. Oh, and she does a little twist there, too. That's brutal. She stabs Rachel a second time in the same exact spot, just to show that Kristen Bell don't fuck around. Forget what you heard about Anna. And then, wait, what? That was Stab 7? They watched Stab 6 in the beginning of Stab 7? What the fuck? Now... Forget what you heard about Anna. And then... Wait, what? That was Stab 7? They watched Stab 6 in the beginning of Stab 7? What the fuck? Now that I don't know who or what to trust in this movie, it's hard for me to take these 2 new chicks seriously. But Jenny tells Marnie that they live in Woodsboro, so I guess I should take her word for it? What the fuck? Now that I don't know who or what to trust in this movie, it's hard for me to take these 2 new chicks seriously. But Jenny tells Marnie that they live in Woodsboro, so I guess I should take her word for it? Or maybe I shouldn't, since Marnie gets a phone call and it turns out it's just Jenny fucking with her. The convo's cut short after Marnie yells out over the phone, and Jenny comes downstairs to find her phone on the floor and the lights out. Spooky scary. Marnie's body then flies through the window, giving us our first quote-unquote real kill of the movie. Real kill in the movie. Looks like she was stabbed in the gut? I don't know, looks like she was stabbed in the gut? I mean, that's a pretty safe bet. It's kind of the only thing Ghostface does. He pops in to say hello and chases Jenny up the stairs, but since she doesn't keep bicycles on her staircase like any self-respecting horror film heroine, he manages to catch up with her and stab her in the back. She crawls away, but before she can get out of the garage, he crushes her with the door in an homage to Tatum's death in the original. He finally puts a real end to the real opening sequence of this movie with a trademark knife slash. At this point, I'm still so shook from those fake-out beginnings that I'm half expecting Wes Craven to take off the Ghostface mask. flip me the bird and thank me for my money. But no, we're in it for real now. In fact, we're back in Woodsboro, where there's Ghostfaces hanging everywhere in very poor taste. Sydney's here too, but she's just visiting, kicking off a book signing tour for her written experience of the Scream situation, which kind of adds another layer to this meta lasagna we got going on. Dewey, on the other hand, lives here and has finally become sheriff. He's got a deputy of his own. He's got a deputy of his own now, Deputy Judy, and she definitely wants to get down and dirty with the Dooster. Yeah, maybe not technically, but I've seen Gal in action enough times to know I wouldn't want to be on her bad side. Yeah, maybe not technically, but I've seen Gal in action enough times to know I wouldn't want to be on her bad side. Even if... fuck. Yeah, maybe not technically, but I've seen Gal in action enough times to know I wouldn't want to be on her bad side. Even if she is having a hard time of it lately, bored as hell in Woodsboro, quietly envious of Sydney's success and experiencing a nasty bout of writer's block. But this is the old guard. We're here to talk about reboots. We're here to talk about... Oh, fuck. It's not talk about, James. It's just talk. Whew. But this is the old guard. We're here to talk reboots and new ideas and youths. Youths like Sydney's cousin Jill. She's headed to school with her friends, the cool-ass Kirby, played expertly by Hayden Panettiere, and this chick Olivia, who happens to live next door. To Jill. That'll come up later. Jill gets a call from Ghostface, and he asks her the same old question. So actually, I guess you can forget what I said about fresh ideas. They get to school and talk to these weird-looking cinema club nerds, Robbie and Charlie. Robbie looks weird because he has a little headset webcam thing that he uses to live stream 24/7. How does he afford that bandwidth? Robbie looks weird because he has a little headset webcam thing he uses to live stream 24/7. How does he afford that bandwidth? And Charlie looks weird because he's played by a Culkin. We also meet Jill's boyfriend, Trevor. So my running joke in this thing is that I forget Trevor's name because he's such a shitty fucking boring character. He needs to do a Halloween franchise. I can't. Kaiser Fink. I was a barista at Starbucks a couple years ago. It fucking sucked. Alright, let me finish this shit. I'm glad some of you guys are enjoying this. Youths. Liz, you know what the fuck I'm up to, man. And Charlie looks weird because he's played by a Culkin. We also meet Jill's boyfriend. She's mad at him because plot reasons. Dude has no personality, so don't worry about losing him in the white bread section of the grocery store. So don't feel bad if you lose him in the white bread section of the grocery store. Dude has no personality, so don't feel bad if you lose him in the white bread section of the grocery store. At Sydney's book signing, she reunites with Gal and Dewey, a round of hugs on the house. But when Dewey and Judy call the phone involved in last night's murders, it's discovered in the trunk of Sydney's rental car, along with a knife and some bloody pictures. The police get down to business, doing what will surely be an inept investigation, and although Gal wants to help because she was involved in the first 3 murder sprees, Deputy Judy pulls a power move and doesn't let her. This causes a bit of marital strife between Gooey. Can that be their couple name? Gooey? Sounds right? Can that be their couple name? Gooey? When Dewey refuses to budge, Gal decides to go rogue and get back to journalism so she can get her groove back. Oh, and Anthony Anderson is here. Hold tight, dude. Blackish is just a few years in your future. With everyone on high alert, Dewey tells Sid she can't leave town, what with the murder weapon having been found in her trunk and all, so she goes to hang out at Jill's house along with Joe's mom Kate, which would be Maureen's sister, right? Right. Boyfriend guy appears in Jill's room, freaking her out a bit and giving Sydney some serious Billy Loomis vibes when she walks in on them. She says goodnight to Jill, and on her way to bed, Judy comes out of the shadows to get real creepy with Sydney, telling her that they went to high school together and that she always noticed Sid, even if Sydney never noticed her. Look, I know this is a classic Scream move to make everyone look suspicious. Yeah, Randy, I know, alright, but I just feel like in this movie and the last one, the writers went out of their way to make a bunch of characters weird red herrings. Because yeah, spoiler alert, Judy's not the killer. Let's do that one more time, because that's on camera. I know this is a classic Scream move to make everyone look suspicious. Yeah, Randy, I know, alright? All I'm saying is that it feels like in this movie and the last one that the writers went out of their way to make a bunch of characters weird red herrings. Because yeah, spoiler alert, Judy's not the killer. Also not the killer are these two cops who are staking out Jill's house to keep an eye on Sydney. Anthony Anderson's character Perkins is a little pervy though. Dude, we just saw that chick come home from high school. She is a high school girl. You're like 40. Doesn't stop the movie from giving us a gratuitous bra shot though when Jill calls Olivia to do a crappy Ghostface impression. While Jill is chatting, oh man, all this fucking phone talk. Doesn't stop the movie. Also, that last one's on camera, so might as well do that again. Dude, we just saw that chick come home from high school. She is a high school student, and you're like 40. Doesn't stop the movie from giving us a gratuitous bra shot, though, when Jill calls Olivia to do a crappy Ghostface impression. While Jill is chatting with Olivia on Kirby's phone, Jill's phone gets a call and Kirby answers it. She thinks it's boyfriend guy, but turns out it's Ghostface who messes with her a little bit before saying he's in the closet. When they finally open the closet, they find it empty because, as you may have guessed, Ghostface was talking about Olivia's closet. He jumps out and Jill and Kirby see the attack from their bedroom window. Olivia gets stabbed straight through the hand and kicked into a table. Then Ghostface throws her around the room a bit before stabbing her in the back and throwing her on the bed. He goes to town on her stomach with his knife before finally tossing her through a window just for good measure. It's a decently gory kill. I keep running out of breath. It's a decently bloody kill that takes it up a notch when Sydney comes next door to find Olivia's body with her insides on the outside. It's the classic Casey Becker Steve Orth treatment. Classic Casey Becker Steve Orth treatment. Ghostface attacks Sydney and Jill, landing a slash on Jill's arm, but Sydney fights back like always. Also like always, Ghostface disappears as the cops arrive. And some more like always, the suspicious boyfriend shows up right after Ghostface is gone. Scream has a playbook, and Coach Craven does not stray from those plays. Sports metaphors. Sports. Scream has a playbook, and Coach Craven does not stray from those plays. Over at the hospital, Robbie and Charlie are doing their little stream thing when Gal confronts them, asking to team up to figure this whole thing out. They agree, mostly because Robbie wants to take a trip to Cougar Town. So going forward, we'll have a nice alliance between new and media of a certain age. Inside the hospital, Sydney fires her book agent Rebecca Walters because she is like Scream 1 Gal Weathers level nasty. Rebecca pouts her way out to the parking garage, talking to herself like a goddamn crazy person, before her soliloquy is interrupted by a phone call. Guess who it is? It's Ghostface. He scares her into her car where she finds out it won't start up because the hood's popped and it's been messed with. Now the teleprompter's moving too slow. What the fuck? When she tries to run back inside for safety, she discovers that Ghostface has somehow locked the door and also made that handle super weak. So she's trapped against a wall when he storms her and stabs her in the gut. She takes a while to slide down against the wall and die. And if she's not dead then, And if she wasn't fully dead then, she definitely is after Ghostface chucks her from the building and she crashes into this news van. Yeah, go ahead and check for a pulse there, Mountain Dewey. I'm thinking she left it 4 stories up. Sydney visits the high school cinema club where Robbie and Charlie explain that a new gen killer would probably want to live stream everything he does. They also fulfill the Randy Meeks role by explaining the rules of a franchise reboot, with Sydney jumping in for extra credit. A+ for Sydney. The party in question is a movie marathon of Stab that these guys have every year, which, when you think about the fact that there are 7 of those movies, that's got to be like a 12-hour-long movie marathon. I'm not saying I've never done that, but props. At Jill's house, she and Sid chat about what it's like being a final girl, while Kirby heads to the Stabathon because I guess this Sydney doesn't care about highly publicized parties where high schoolers go to get drunk. I do enjoy the people dressing like Dewey and Gal, though. Real Gal's also there, slipping into a Ghostface mask to pull her tried and true hidden camera trick, putting a number of webcams all over the party barn. When she gets to her car and starts logging, though, she watches as her webcams get covered up by a Ghostface. She heads back inside because she's just gotta get that drunk high schooler footage, yo. And she finds a second camera not set up by her. Ghostface comes from behind and attacks her, successfully stabbing her in the shoulder. But Dewey shows up and shoots Ghostface away, and Gal looks like she'll be just fine, because there's no way this franchise has the guts to kill off Courtney Cox. While doing a perimeter check, Officer Haas notices that Jill's window is open. When he goes back to Officer Perkins to relay the information, Ghostface runs up and stabs Haas in the back. It's a simple kill, like most of these are, and all it does is leave me wondering why they wasted Adam Brody in a 2-bit cop part that got killed so unceremoniously. And you're probably like, dude, they're wasting Anthony Anderson too, and you're right, to some degree. I mean, he is the next one dead when Ghostface stabs him in the forehead. He is the next one dead when Ghostface stabs him in the forehead. But check it. Ghostface takes the knife out and Perkins gets out of the car. Bleeding from his fucking brain, he wobbles around for a little bit, blinded by blood, but still swinging a few punches before finally falling down to his death. This may seem improbable, but Craven based it on a real-life event. Incident, and I think it's freaking great. Good job, Anthony Anderson. I bet this scene got you Blackish. Inside the house, Sid is all jumpy and gets scared by Kate coming home from a grocery run at the most suspicious hour possible. This is the kind of shit I'm talking about. Why would she be shopping right now? Whatever. The phone rings and Sydney answers it, and yeah, of course it's Ghostface. Hey Sid, maybe try not answering the phone sometime, huh? Maybe just let the machine handle it sometime. Maybe let the machine get it next time. Maybe just let the machine get the next one. Ghostface threatens her family, so she runs upstairs and finds Jill has flown the coop, apparently picked up by Kirby to head to that party. When Sid and Kate try to peace out, they're attacked by Ghostface, who they successfully lock out of the house, but Ghostface still manages to stab Kate in the back through the mail slot. Man, mail slots and landline phones? This may be a modern upgrade to the franchise, but part of it's always going to be stuck in the 90s. Judy shows up, but Sid doesn't trust her, so she GTFOs to go find Jill. Jill's chilling with Charlie and Robbie at Kirby's house. And hey, look who's here, the boyfriend character guy. He claims Jill texted him to come over, but she says no, she ain't got her phone. She leaves the room to go get it. After a little bit of awkward sitting around, Trevor also leaves the room. Because whodunits only work when characters are split up and in constant motion. Charlie and Kirby continue their movie marathon and go to make out before boyfriend guy interrupts them. Thanks, dude. Just because you can't get any doesn't mean you got a cock block. Charlie storms off with blue balls while Hayden Panettiere sits on the couch and does some amazing face acting, solidifying herself as the most enjoyable new person in the cast. Meanwhile, Robbie's out back drunkenly vlogging when Ghostface comes out of the house and stabs him in the chest. He tries to run away, but Ghostface catches up to him, getting him once more in the back and knocking him to the ground. Robbie tries a bullshit excuse to survive, but it doesn't work because, obviously, Ghostface stabs him once more and Charlie ends up stumbling to his death on the front porch. I don't know where they came up with the whole gay people live in reboots thing, but it seemed pretty forced. Right before Robbie died, Sydney showed up, so she, Jill, and Kirby are now on the run from Ghostface. They go upstairs like always, where Sydney tells Jill to get under the bed and hide. Then Sydney lures Ghostface out onto the roof. Damn. So close. Out onto the roof, losing him around the corner and calling Dewey over to do some actual goddamn police work. Dewey, come on. Ghostface catches up to her and knocks her off the roof for like the bajillionth time in this series. Sid escapes back into the house where she and Kirby go hide in the basement. Charlie shows up outside the basement patio door, but mouth is so dry. But Sydney admonishes Kirby not to let him in if she can't trust him. So he's left out in the cold as Ghostface attacks him, and then as Sydney and Kirby watch, the screen cuts to black. Was that supposed to be him turning off the lights? What lights? He made it pitch black? Nah, man, that was a simple editing cut, and it feels real cheap there. Do all that again. So he's left out in the cold as Ghostface attacks him, and then as Sydney and Kirby watch, the screen cuts to black. Was that supposed to be him turning off the lights? Like what lights? He made it pitch black? Nah, man, that was a simple editing cut, and it feels real cheap there. The lights come back up, aka the editor's editing jokes, aka the editor dissolves back into a shot, and Charlie's tied up in a chair like Steve Orth. Sydney runs off to try to take care of business while Kirby plays Ghostface's trivia game. She thinks that she answered his brain buster correctly, so she goes outside and unties Charlie, so everything's great, right? Wrong! Charlie fucking stabs her in the stomach because Charlie's a Ghostface! Oh shit! Never trust a Culkin. Charlie gives her his reason, showing he's just one of those classic whiny nice guys. Then he stabs her again and tosses her body down to the ground. Interestingly enough, Wes Craven himself said Kirby was a possible survivor, but in light of his passing and my hopes that they won't continue the franchise without him, I'm just going to add her to our list. Back inside, Charlie attacks Sid and holds a knife to her throat. She gets away, but then another Ghostface stabs her in the gut. Any guesses on who it is? Anyone? But then another Ghostface stabs her in the gut. Any guesses on who it is? Anyone? Last chance. It's Jill. I saw it coming, but maybe it was a fun twist. For you. Jill and Charlie have been recording all their kills, and they're going to upload them and make them traceable to boyfriend guy, who they're planning on framing because, framing someone is just part of the Scream handbook. And we do not stray from the handbook when making a Scream. Okay. Jill finally ends boyfriend guy's boyfriend life by shooting him in his boyfriend dick. Ouch, that's got a boyfriend hurt. Then she puts one in his head, making our 13th kill. Sorry, what was it again, man? Travie, whatever, boyfriend guy. Charlie and Jill are getting really into the whole reboot angle. Their whole thing is that they want to be famous, and they think surviving a murder spree that people have seen video footage of will make them America's darlings or some shit. Charlie, hate to break it to you, you're never going to be anyone's darling. That is not a happy Jill face. To pay even more homage to the original movies, Charlie and Jill bring back the classic Billy Stu stabby stab fun times to make themselves look like victims. Charlie psychs himself up to get stabbed in the shoulder, but Jill ain't playing around, and she stabs Charlie straight in the heart. Turns out her plan is to make Charlie seem like one of the killers. Turns out her plan is to make Charlie seem like one of the killers after all and be famous all on her own. But for someone so well, you should have known the second fiddle villain always gets backstabbed. Always gets backstabbed. Jill stabs in the gut again and she falls down. And I actually thought maybe they killed her, but nope, they didn't. Spoiler. Then Jill goes around methodically making herself look like a survivor, and it's kind of fun to watch. She scratches herself. She scratches her face and pulls out her hair with boyfriend's hand, then stabs herself against the wall with the knife. As if that wasn't enough, she smashes her head against a picture and fucking stage dives into a glass table, before finally collapsing next to Sydney for a really nice Facebook cover photo. Please tell me the camera's still recording. It is. Cool. Almost done, almost done. Dewey and Judy finally arrive, seeing all the carnage and getting take your hat off level sad. Seeing all the carnage and getting take your hat off level sad. Jill is carted out on a stretcher where she gets a taste of the adoration and fame she's always wanted. But she comes off her high in the hospital when the Dewmeister drops this bombshell on her. He leaves the room and Jill wastes no time sneaking into He leaves her bedside and Jill wastes no time sneaking into Sydney's room to finish the job. And because this is Scream, she has to make a horror movie reference as she does it. They wrestle around the hospital room for a little while, Jill being a real bee and punching Sid in her gut wound. And when Dewey rushes in to save her, he gets a fucking beatdown from Jill with a bedpan. Wow, he gets his ass whooped. Just be thankful it was empty, dude. Gail and Judy both show up, but Jill holds them off at gunpoint, even shooting Judy just for shits and gigs. But while Gail distracts her, Sydney grabs the defibrillators and starts charging them up. Gail yes-ands her and sets Sydney up for a punchline. Jill gets 360 joules to the fucking dome and collapses onto the floor. I know Jill's pretty dead right there, but she is smoking. No, literally, there's smoke coming off of her. Don't call me an Axel. Don't call me an Axel. Besides, she's not even really dead. She grabs a shard of glass and comes behind Sydney for one last attack, but Sydney shoots her, by now a seasoned veteran of the killer's last hurrah that these movies just love to comment on. Part of the playbook. Sydney lies down next to Jill in a mirror version of that earlier shot. With Jill the dead one this time, our 15th and final victim. Yep, just 15 because Judy's still alive. I know you were so worried about her, right? She shows her vest and then faints, the perfect punctuation to her shitty character. Outside, the reporters give Jill the praise she fought and killed for, not knowing that she's dead and also a murderer. An ironic ending, perfect for an ironic series that was always commenting on itself. And now's the part where I exit the frame in a silly way to do the numbers. Or do I? I do. Oh, that's not a good one. I'll do another one. How many people are still here? Damn, guys. Shits and gigs. Yeah, shits and gigs is fun. I don't work for Fox News. I work for Fox Broadcasting. I'm also not their employee. I work for Full Screen and just like I'm situated at Fox. Almost there, guys. Almost there. All right, let me finish this up. Oh yeah, me woe me. What, are you a Practical Folks fan? Saying you didn't know that I made videos about horror movies? Because I do, and I love it. An ironic ending, perfect for an ironic series that was always commenting on itself. And now's the part where I exit the frame in a silly way to do the numbers. Or do I? I do. I'll do it one more time. I gotta get inspiration for that. And now's the part where I exit the frame in a silly way to do the numbers. Or do I? I do. Alright, one of those will work. I don't feel good about any of those. Alright, let's cut, do the awards and outro, and then the... Oh, whoa, movie recording is automatically stopped. What the fuck, card? When did this stop? Why is this doing this so much? Jesus, okay. Oh man, I don't know why I stopped recording. The card's not full, but I gotta go back and do a little bit. It's not as much as last time. This is Scream fucking 3. No, this is Scream 4. Jesus, take 2. Because it stopped recording for some reason. Damn it. Ugh. And starts charging them up. Gail yes ands her and sets Sydney up for a punchline. Jill gets 360 joules to the fucking dome and collapses onto the floor. I know Jill's pretty dead right there, but she is smoking. No, literally, there's smoke coming off of her. Don't call me an Axel. Don't call me an Axel. Ugh. Besides, she's not even really dead. She grabs a shard of glass and comes behind Sydney for one last attack, but Sydney shoots her by now a seasoned veteran of the killer's last hurrah that these movies just love to comment on. Part of the playbook. Sydney lies down next to Jill in a mirror version of that earlier shot, with Jill the dead one now. With Jill the dead one this time, our 15th and final victim. Yep, just 15 because Judy's still alive. I know, you were so worried about her, right? She shows off her vest and then faints, the perfect punctuation to this shitty character. Outside, the reporters give Jill the praise she fought and killed for, not knowing that she's dead and also a murderer. An ironic ending, perfect for an ironic series that was always commenting on itself. And now's the part where I exit the frame in a silly way to do the numbers. Or do I? I do. I'll do one more because I don't like just having one of those takes. Oh wait, I ended Friday by grabbing the machete. I'll just grab the knife. An ironic ending, perfect for an ironic series that was always commenting on itself. And now's the part where I exit the frame in a silly way to do the numbers. Or do I? I do. Now I'm gonna do this, hold on. I'm gonna lick this knife. I just forgot that this thing was there. I'm pretty tired, guys. Wubba wubba dub dub. No. Oh man. Perfect for an ironic series that was always commenting on itself. And now's the part where I exit the frame in a silly way to do the numbers. Or do I? I do. Yep, that's the one. That kind of cut my tongue a little. That's a sharp plastic knife. Okay, let's cut and do those fucking awards. Rolling. This is Scream 4, awards and ending. I'll give the golden chocolate's death to Officer Perkins. Olivia almost took it with her but I'm a sucker for reality that's stranger than fiction, and the fact that this happened in real life makes it way more powerful to me. Dual machete for lamest kill is gonna go to Perkins. He's gonna go to his partner Hoss. A single stab to the back put that guy down, and there you have it. Another series wrapped on the kill count with the conclusion of Scream 4. I liked it a lot more than Scream 3, but it still felt... Fuck. And there you have it. Another series wrapped on the kill count with the conclusion of Scream 4. I liked it a lot more than Scream 3, but it still felt like it was more of a cliche than it was a commentary on cliches. But at least it delivered in the kill department, kinda. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything on this channel, because I'll be back next week with an all-new body count for you. Until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count. That was good. I'll do it once more and then be done. Oh no, call to action. Then I'll be done. And there you have it. Another series wrapped on the kill count with the conclusion of Scream 4. I liked it a lot more than Scream 3, but it still felt like it was more of a cliche than it was a commentary on cliches. At least it kind of delivered in the kill department. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything on this channel, because I'm going to have a whole new body count for you next week. Until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count. Cool. Cut on those, and then we're going to do the call to action and wrap up this shoot and this stream, and I can hang out with my girlfriend. Rolling. This is call to action for Scream 4. Double check that rolling. Okay, here we go. Hey guys, thanks a lot for watching the kill count for Scream 4. We're done with another series, and this one did not take me 3 months to do. I know Scream isn't as hardcore of a series as Friday or some other picks, but it's still a really important. Franchise in the horror. But it's still a really important genre. Fuck me. But it's still a really important franchise in the genre. So maybe don't be dicks about it. If I include that, people are going to be dicks about it. So I just had to cover it. I'll have something new for you next week, so make sure you come back. See you guys. See you then. Okay. Wrap. That's a cut. Cool. Oh man, I can't believe there are 240 fucking people at the end of the 3-hour stream. That's insane, man. I take of it, and I picked the best take. So yeah, it's annoying to me when I'm editing. It was probably very annoying to sit there and watch me do it, but that's how this gets made, guys. Oh yeah, I said at the end I would show you the set in case you weren't here in the beginning. So this is how I shoot. It's a camera with a tripod, with a teleprompter. Teleprompter has, oh, did it turn off? I don't know if it's worth. Turn back on, sorry. Oh yeah. So teleprompter has a tablet right there that I run a program on, and then it gets mirrored on the text, and then I stand right here and I read it as I talk. This mirror is here for me to check myself because I'm vain. This background is just decorative curtains that I hang up. I bought on Amazon. There's a light lighting it to give it more texture and depth. Here's the stuff that I have on display for this series. I have the Scream knife and the cloak and the mask, obviously. There's also Little Critter Dude, Friday the 13th book, Dead of Winter board game, which is a great game, Torch from Puppet Master 2, the picture at the end of The Shining, Jason mask. 13X Studios, get one of these. They're fucking cool. They're only $30. These salt and pepper xenomorph egg guys. This dude, fucking Gizmo, right? Yeah. Jason, Three-Eyed Raven from Game of Thrones, because fuck it. Oh yeah, down here, no one ever sees it, but I put Washington Irving's Legends of Sleepy Hollow, because I was like, that's horror. Oh, those are wigs because my girlfriend's a costume designer. Oh yeah, and then there's our green screen where I shoot the numbers that I'm not gonna do right now because it's too late.
Okay. All right. Who's this guy? So yeah, thank you guys for joining me. It was a long stream, but that's what goes into these videos. And again, thank everyone for being real. The people who were cool. Obviously not everyone. Meckham, I also say kill count. I just was like being using a synonym. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna hang out with Chelsea because that's fun, and we're probably gonna play a game. I'm tired and hungry, guys. But I just want to thank you so much for hanging out, for supporting this channel. Everyone who says nice things, you guys make me feel so good because I'll be real with you. On Practical Folks, which is the channel I've had for 4 years, which I love everyone on it. But I found that a lot of the comments, they were rarely about me. They seemed to be about other people on the channel more often than not. And that kind of hurt after a while because I was doing pretty much all the work as far as the editing and everything goes. So that got really hard for me after a while. And the fact that I can do a channel and have all you guys like comment and say that you really like me and my jokes and what I do, it just makes me really happy. So it makes everything work, like it makes everything worth it. So thank you guys. Uh, James, you're my favorite person at Dead Meat. Thank you, Cameron. Cool. You guys are the best. I'll do more streams because I like hanging out with you, man. I like hanging out with all of you. Thanks again. Uh, it's about to hit 3 hours, so I'll stop it right now. Thanks, Tyler, for modding. And yeah, I'll see you guys around. We'll get Scream on Friday. That'll be fun. And I'm sure Chelsea says hi. I'm going to go let her out. She's going to go let herself out because I didn't lock her in the bedroom. I promise. All right. She has Lucy, so she's doing fine. All right. Love you guys. Bye.